Today on the Shrewd Dudes podcast, we are going to talk about a few different things. In This Week in Satire, Rashida Tlaib somehow defends praising Hitler.
It's all good, man.
It's all good. It's the voice of freedom.
Good vibes.
Yeah, good vibes. Good vibes only.
That's right.
In the Reds of the Week, we are going to address that the Republican Party is the party of losers. Yep.
Oh, yeah.
It's true. It is true.
Lahu Sahers.
Yes.
What? That would be from Ace Ventura. You ever seen that?
I've seen it. It's been a long time.
The Fly's back. Oh, man. He's making an early entrance today.
Yeah. They come back. They come back very quickly. In the It's a Trap segment, something we haven't done for a long time, we're going to talk about how there is a rising level of kind of hatred and division and anger across the world. And
it's getting bad, man.
Yeah, it's getting bad, and you can't fall into it. Because people are dying. And nothing to see here, we're going to talk about somewhat of what we mentioned in the This Week in Satire. About how some people who are supporting Hamas are just nasty, nasty people.
Yep.
Then the weekly exposure and the weekly highlight. Apparently we're going to uncover that some journalists were embedded in Hamas and knew about the attacks and didn't say anything. So
I mean, it's good news, you know.
Yes. So all of that and more on the Shrewd Dudes podcast.
Let's do it.
Alrighty. So, we are back for another Thursday show.
It's on. It is on, as always.
I was so tired this afternoon that I was just like, I'm going to have a nap. I don't have naps often.
You are waking up earlier now, so
yes,
good on you.
I am. So waking up at 5 a.m. is a little killer.
Yep.
And then our friend Chad texted me, and he's like, oh, can you send some information over to me? And I'm like, yeah. And then like 5 hours later, and he's like, could you send that over? And I'm like, I forgot. Right, I was having a nap.
Yeah, it happens. You're a busy guy. I'm looking forward to seeing if that accidental Ukrainian person from Tuesday comes back again.
No, they were from Russia. They were from Russia.
Russia. Okay, Russia.
Yeah.
The Ruskies.
Oh, yes.
I mean, we have to be careful if we platform when we could be accused of being Putin lovers.
Yes. I was accused of that this week. Because of being a Putin lover, because I was like, no, Zelensky is just as bad or worse. And he's like, you're a horrid person. And I'm like, do you kiss your mother with that mouth? And he's like, only a terrible person would bring family into this. And I'm like, okay.
That's some top-notch argumentation right there.
Just top-notch.
Yep, that's good.
Yeah, so things that people talk about when they get anxious and upset.
Nice, man. Nice.
So, anything interesting that happened to you the last day or two?
I played pickleball yesterday. They had so normally at the CLC they usually have like floor hockey, but now they have a pickleball group. I got a chance to play some pickleball, and people were like, "You're really good at this." I'm like, "Yeah,
I should hope so."
I am. I'm good at a lot of racquetball games, like tennis, badminton, squash, whatever. So pickleball just kind of like it's like if you know these games, I know how to play ping pong too. So you just like pickleball is not too difficult, but I'm usually pretty good at kind of like these kind of games anyway. So yeah, they were pretty impressed. I was pretty happy. I'm looking forward to doing that more.
Yeah,
it's gonna be good. What about you, man? What you been up to, man?
What have I been up to? That's right. Not
debating the world again and showing them like the truth.
That's the idea. Sometimes you just have to, it's always a fine line between being a truth teller and just trolling hard on some people. Yeah.
Being a troll, yeah.
No, like there was an instance because a whole bunch of people were promoting this individual. Like I'll kind of read it for you because it was just like, this is crazy. And so it was like this. There's an organization called the Institute of Physics, and they had brought in this trans person as the new inclusion and diversity representative. And they're like, I look forward to working with different groups who share a passion for physics, but feel they cannot achieve their maximum potential. Yeah, so I'll show you a picture of what this person looks like.
Okay, I'll see.
So it's really obvious.
Super obvious.
Super obvious.
I saw that one.
Yeah. So super obvious. That's a dude.
Mm-hmm.
And so the ridiculous thing was a whole bunch of people had shared it under... I gotta go forward. They had shared it under this whole thing where it was like, really disgusted by some of the comments. Claire is an amazing advocate for EDI across the board. She worked with me to change the policy on harassment, making all women safer. A damn sight better than most of the haters below have done. And then another person. Clara is an amazing role model and inspiration for so many women. She has done so much to make science a better environment for everybody. The people writing negative comments should ask themselves who they have ever helped or inspired. Quote, men are so amazing, they're better as women than women.
Well done.
Well done. I'm trolling hard, but
yeah. Well, I mean that's basically the best way. It's sarcasm, it's mockery. That's the only way you could respond.
Oh yeah. No.
By the way, this is my biggest beef with the movie The Imitation Game. Have you seen it?
No, I've not seen it.
Benedict Cumberbatch, like that. The whole
it was about like the decoding.
Yes, the coding. Now I saw that movie. The vast majority of that movie was really good. And then they had to shoehorn.
They shoehorned in like the whole like
being like this poor innocent soul. He got treated so poorly despite all of his amazing accomplishments, and I was just like, dude, nobody is denying that he accomplished some amazing things.
Amazing things.
Imagine, let's imagine for a second that he was convicted and charged with abusing children. You wouldn't be like, well, look at how terrible pedophiles are being treated, even though he accomplished great things. I'm like, that it's not an argument. It's like he did amazing work in mathematics and had a major impact on World War II, and he got punished at a time when it was normal to punish people who were like homosexual. That's two different things. Behavior. It's not one and the other. So this person in that picture you shared, I'm sure he's a very, very solid scientist. And then in a separate news item, he's also not a woman.
Yep, not a woman. So, yep. You can be a scientist and a man.
That's right. You're a man, baby.
Yep, getting you some ma'am. I had my volume on my phone high. Ma'am, baby.
Ma'am, baby.
All right, but speaking of kind of craziness, let's look at this first video. It's not This Week in Satire, but it basically should be.
It's so good.
It's so good. So, just a shout out. My brother sent me this video. So, thank you for highlighting this video to me. It is really, really good.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, let's just watch and enjoy.
Hi, everyone. We are live on YouTube with Columbia Anti-Semitic News, where everyone is welcome. LGBTQH.
H?
Hamas.
Yeah, I totally seen Hamas. Yeah. It's so trending right now.
From the river to the sea, Palestine will be free. Do you know why it's true? Because it rhymes. Just look at all this toxic Zionist propaganda. Kidnapped in Gaza. Does this look like Gaza to you?
Yeah, but I have no idea what Gaza looks like.
And they're smiling. Do hostages smile? Zionist liars.
Totally sus.
Do they think we're stupid?
Stupid? I major in queer post-colonial astrology. Ew. Jews make the world dirty.
Yeah.
And no, I'm not anti-Semitic. I'm racist fluid.
Exactly. And now for a little break from all this activism, we want to say hello to our BFF,
Bestie freedom fighter.
Abu Fatwa in Gaza. Salam alaikum.
Alaykum as-salam, and inshallah, Allah will kill you all infidels.
Thank you so much for joining us. Love the headpiece, the all oppression chic. Very drip.
Mr. Fatwa, how are you? Are you safe?
Oh yes, I'm safe. I'm in a tunnel under the Gaza hospital. Above me, I have Allah and 2 million civilians protecting me.
Community is so important these days.
Do you need like humanitarian aid, food, fuel, medicine?
It's okay, I have everything. I'm only hungry for rockets.
As long as it's
For
organic.
rockets.
I wish I just
And
could
for
be there
terrorism.
with you.
You can come to Gaza anytime and we will throw you from the roof, you homosexual dirt.
Do you hear? Bro, wanna throw me a rooftop party?
They are so welcoming and inclusive.
So
Super
shukran.
welcoming.
And you are also very welcome to come here to America.
We will come. First we finish with Israel. And America is next.
Great. So I guess we'll see you soon.
Yes, it will be a blast.
Can't wait.
Oh,
It'll be so multicultural.
Ya Allah, you are so stupid.
Thank you so much, Abu. We love you.
I won't even bother killing you. It's a waste of bullets.
Goodbye, Dolly.
It's better you just kill yourself.
Okay, bye.
Die.
From the river to the sea, Palestine will be Jews free. Yeah, that sounds better.
It is better.
It is because
is
it's
better.
more accurate.
It's more
literally
accurate.
like it doesn't dance around the whole issue. I'm like,
Yeah,
well
no.
done, well done.
Yeah,
That is
so
solid satire, man.
It's
satire.
solid satire.
I mean, it's funny because it's true.
It's true. Yep. But speaking of something that's also funny, but this lady's just crazy.
It's just funny, haha.
What's
It's
going
funny,
on?
haha. Let's watch.
Why are you driving in the wrong way of traffic?
No, I just got changed around. I just moved here like 2 months ago. and
Okay.
I just got changed around.
Okay. Do you understand what's going on though?
Yes.
You're going into oncoming traffic.
I know, and I just decided that it was better just to turn around really quick.
Okay.
But I'm sorry. I just have like really bad social anxiety and stuff.
I get you.
I don't want to step out whenever you're asking for stuff.
Okay. Well, we're past that.
We're
Just
past
go
that.
ahead, step out.
As an indigenous person,
Right back here, please. Miss Perry? Am I?
well, I'm non-binary, so
Okay. What do you go by?
it's Kai.
How can I refer to you tonight? Kai?
Kai.
Okay. Hey, I'm smelling alcohol.
I know.
How much have you consumed
No.
tonight?
Like probably 3 drink.
I need to run you through some tests right now. Stand facing me, please.
But I just want you to know that I also have very bad social anxiety.
You and me both. Any recent head trauma, traumatic brain injuries, anything I need to know about?
Mental, yes.
Focus on my finger, please.
I am. You're just like trying to intimidate me.
I don't know how I'm trying to do that. This is the test.
As you know, as an indigenous person, and there's a bunch of going around, I'm sorry, but it's just for me to be on my toes.
I get you.
Can you remember that I told you that I'm non-binary?
Yeah, I'll try my hardest. I'll refer to you as Kai, right?
Yes.
Perfect. I need to know if you have any injuries or anything that would prevent you from doing a standard walk or a turn tonight.
Mental health.
Any physical injuries?
Mental, yeah. Just saying.
Okay,
Mental, PTSD, depression, anxiety.
I get you.
What else?
Now with your right foot, place it in front of your left in a heel-to-toe touching manner with your arms by your side, just like this, ma'am.
Can you not call me ma'am, please?
I'm trying my
yeah.
hardest.
Okay, well,
I'm trying my hardest not to
Please
make you
watch
sound
me.
stupid.
I'm trying my
I don't
hardest.
feel like a man, so
Okay.
it's kind of triggering.
Right foot in front of your left. Nope, go back.
Sorry,
Nope.
but that whole man thing, just like,
Oh my gosh.
I apologize. Let's see if we can move forward from it. You have 0 questions?
no, but I just want to tell you that I suffer from really bad anxiety, especially with generational trauma and PTSD around
Generational trauma.
white people
That's a new one.
and cops. Like, It's just...
I'm going to speak with you right over here, okay?
Oh,
Yes, ma'am. Go ahead and place your hands behind your back.
Don't, dude.
Don't make it
Don't,
hard.
please.
Don't make it hard.
No,
You're going to get a resistance.
dude,
You're going to get a
I
resistance.
don't.
Don't resist.
Don't.
Listen to me.
Don't resist.
Don't resist.
Don't. You're being
Come
a
here.
white man and
Come here.
don't. I follow all your shit. Like, as an indigenous person, like, you guys. You guys are scaring me.
You're being a
There's
white
nothing to be
man.
afraid of.
Nothing to be afraid of. Just don't break the law.
You're being a white man. How dare you be a white man? Why can't you be a black man right now?
Yeah.
I demand that you identify as a black man.
Mm-hmm. See, this is... Where is it? Let's see if I can pull it up. On live camera response.
Okay. Don't stop. There's a gift for that? Oh, stop breaking the law, a-hole.
Stop breaking
That's a good scene. That's a very good scene. I like it.
It's one of the best lines. It's so funny. Wants to know he's been arrested because he did this and this. Stop! It's so
Strong
good.
response. I mean, it's amazing though. This person is basically trying to pull out every card in her like little victim mentality,
Oh, yeah.
kind of like like arsenal.
Everything
like-
she can.
I'm an indigenous person. I have social anxiety. I have generational trauma. I have PTSD. I have like this. I have a hangnail. I have a picture of my boyfriend, like my ex-boyfriend in the car, and this caused me trauma.
Yeah.
I have, like whatever. I don't know, fill in whatever. I'm being possessed by some demons. Like, whatever you can come up
Yeah.
with.
No, to her that'd be a good thing.
Yeah. Demon would be like, oh, hell no, I ain't going in there.
I ain't dealing with that crap.
I'm doing that crap. I didn't sign up for this. It's like I want a normie, none of these crazy lefties.
Yeah.
So it's crazy, man. It's crazy.
That would actually be a funny Babylon Bee article. It'd be like, demon asks the devil to stop being assigned to the crazies.
Yeah, he'd be like, I can't do nothing here. They're already nuts. These people are already nuts. I got nothing to do here. I'm bored.
I'm bored. They're already off the wall.
That's right. They're making me a little crazy.
They're making me a little crazy. But speaking of
Because
those
of someone who's
already a little crazy.
Someone who's already possessed by demons.
Oh yeah, let's talk about Rashida Tlaib in This Week in Satire. Rashida Tlaib says Hail Hitler was just an aspirational call for freedom. Michigan Representative Rashida Tlaib clarified comments she made on social media over the weekend, maintaining the phrase Hail Hitler was just an anti-colonial call for freedom from oppression.
I mean, there was.
Hail Hitler is just an aspirational call for freedom, human rights, and peaceful coexistence, not death, destruction, or hate. My work and advocacy is always centered in justice and dignity for all people, no matter what faith or ethnicity. Representative Tlaib posted Friday on X. She came under fire for posting a video of crowds of anti-Jewish protesters chanting Hail Hitler at an event in Michigan after some online pointed out, it's supposed to be like intonated with some people.
Some online pointed out that
Hail Hitler might have a lengthy anti-Semitic history. Tlaib took to social media to defend the phrase and call out anyone who disagreed with her as an Islamophobe. Hail Hitler is a beautiful phrase rooted in freedom and unity, just like death to infidels and gas to Jews. Tlaib explained.
I mean, totally understandable phrases.
Yeah, totally.
Totally. Completely. Yeah.
Some on social media questioned the representative for her definition of the phrase. Quote, I always thought Hail Hitler was a salute to the man who instigated one of the worst human genocides in history, posted ex-user Brandon Taylor. But I don't want to be accused of being a bigot, so Hail Hitler, I guess? At publishing
or
time...
honk honk.
Yeah, honk honk. Publishing time, members of the squad rushed to Tlaib defense, with Representative AOC accusing Jewish Americans of trying to colonize World War II Germany with their banks and money, and Ilhan Omar yelling, Allahu Akbar, and shooting an AK-47 in the air.
I mean, that's about as peaceful as you can get right there. I mean,
but that's a normal Tuesday for Ilhan.
Totally, yeah, pretty much actually. After a busy breakfast and banging her brother, she's gotta go up there and protest for others.
Yeah,
very important.
You gotta have something to aspire to.
That's right. Very important. Very important.
Mm-hmm. Exceptionally important.
But one of the funniest things I ran into today was this one. So one of the things that happened last night was the GOP debate number 3, and it was a biggie.
It was.
And I think like Benny Johnson pointed this out, and I was like laughing my head off. I'm like, here's how it went in satire form. Let's enjoy.
Mm-hmm. All right. Well, I gotta bring out the stinger.
You gotta.
Red alert.
Okay. So, Benny Johnson, recap of the GOP debate.
Hang on to your butts.
Partially true.
Oh. Ron DeSantis.
Every now and then I get a little bit nervous. Listen to the sound of my tears. Every now and then I get a little bit nervous that the best of all the years have gone by. Turn around. Every now and then I get a little bit terrified, and then I see the look in your eyes.
Tim Scott.
Every now and then I fall apart. And I need you now tonight. And I need you more than ever. And if you
Vivek!
we'll be holding on forever. And we'll only be making it right. 'Cause we'll never be wrong.
And well, it's like, dang it. Well done.
Yep.
Makes you wonder who won the debate tonight, Stephen?
Well, so there's various different.
Say
the debate was yesterday.
Say it.
Well, Vivek had the highest highs and the lowest lows.
Okay.
Because yes, and we're gonna show a video of his highest high, and it was a good high. He didn't go far enough though.
Okay.
And then
even now, you still gotta pull back and be like, no, he's nothing special. He's nothing special. I'm like, come on, man.
He says all the right things, but I wouldn't trust him as far as I could throw him.
Oh my gosh. All right, go ahead.
How much of his company is owned by the big 3?
Oh my gosh.
How much?
I have no idea. But
what does his company actually produce? Nothing.
Mm-hmm.
His company is worth hundreds of millions of dollars, but it produces nothing, and 45% is owned by the big 3.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Go on.
Vivek, I'm the only one who's not bought and paid for. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's true, because he's the only one that is basically funding his own campaign.
He's funded by the big 3. He's a plant.
He's funded by his own money, man.
Yes, his own money given to him by the big 3.
Like, what do you mean given to him by the big 3? Give me the big 3.
BlackRock, State Street, and Vanguard. They are the biggest 3 funders of his company. They own 45% of his company.
Yes, because they own a big chunk of every major company. But Vivek actually put his own
small percentages, under 10%. They own very, very close. He owns the majority, and they own basically everything else, and then everybody else has a sliver of a percentage.
Okay, so that means that they basically have a part of it, part ownership of his company. That does not mean that he's bought and paid for.
Yeah, did you even watch that video I sent to you?
No, I don't think I did.
No, you should have.
See, this is the thing. That's
company worthless. They invest, and it's worth hundreds of millions of dollars in months.
What is so frustrating about you is that it's like everyone is terrible except for your wonderful ultimate savior Ron DeSantis. Ron can do no wrong. Ron will bring us into the promised land. I'm like, give me a break, man.
What's a bad policy?
Sorry?
What's a bad policy?
Bad policy of what?
Of Ron DeSantis. What's a bad policy?
Ron DeSantis. Okay, there's a major difference between being I like Ron DeSantis as a governor. He's a great governor. He's done a great job. He's run a horrible campaign. he has hired terrible people to run his campaign. If he can't even like hire good people right now, what makes you think he's going to hire good people in an actual like administration? He's successful because the Florida legislature is putting in good policy, and he's signing off on it. But as a president, he has to be something else. I don't believe that Ron DeSantis is showing that he's a good leader. He's showing that he's he's very good at just going along with the flow as long as everyone's with him, which everyone in Florida is. But he's showing that he's not capable, at least now.
Okay, hold on. You're saying the guy who won by 50,000, and he's only going along with the flow, and then now he has a lead of 2.5 million is only going along with the
Florida.
flow. Yes,
because Florida, the House,
Florida
the Senate,
was not conservative. Like Trump barely squeaks by in 2016. DeSantis barely squeaks by in 2020 and in 2018.
Sure. Yeah.
And then DeSantis and a decent amount of good Republicans changed Florida for the better.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Like I said, he's a good governor. He's done a great job in Florida.
Yeah,
but he also has a Republican Senate and a Republican House in Florida that are all,
which is what Trump had.
Yes, he had it in the first part. And Trump gave us some of the best years in America by far. He had 3 amazing years before like the whole COVID debacle.
Yeah, before he
had the best economy, he had the best foreign policy, he had everything else. Like the thing that I'm amazed at, that you don't even give Trump the credit he deserves for what he did for the pro-life movement. He's the one that he's the one that put the conservative justices on the Supreme Court. He's the one that helped. Yes, he did. He's the one that appointed.
Yeah, no, he got. Okay, so Amy Coney Barrett, good justice.
Yes, absolutely.
Neil Gorsuch, bad justice.
Yes. Except that
Brett Kavanaugh, bad justice.
All three of them helped to overturn Roe v. Wade.
Yes.
Do you think that
more to do with Clarence Thomas actually convincing them?
Sure, whatever.
Both Gorsuch and Kavanaugh said that they would not overturn Roe when they were nominated.
Well, it doesn't matter. The idea is that he got more success than any other Republican president in the last 50 years.
And now he's going to what? Bring it back? Make an agreement with Democrats?
Oh my goodness, man!
Danny. You lost the argument when you said you would still support Trump when he said if he would support transing the kids.
Because I didn't. You did. The kids. I said that you're oversimplifying what he did. You're not giving him credit for what he did.
I am saying that I gave you the question, saying this is the most, along with abortion, that transing the kids is the most evil thing that's happening in American society.
Absolutely, I agree with that.
Both of those things. Like transing the kids, Trump's not on board with that yet. But, it's a Tuesday. I know it's a Thursday. We'll see. Like, he doesn't have conservative principles. We know that. But
even though he ran, like, the most conservative campaign, like, in 2016. And presidency. Yes.
Yeah, and now he's simping.
These are all speculations.
These are all based on things he said.
Yes, but my goodness.
No.
You're acting like he's a completely different person. Like he's not going to act anywhere near the same he was.
He's the 2016, 2020, and 2024 Trump. Very different policies. Very different policies.
Person. Totally different person then.
Well, he's not running as a Republican.
He's running for the Republican ticket.
He's running for the Republican ticket, but he's not running. Well, Patriot Concierge, we said that he would never, like, he promotes trans adults. Like,
no, he's more like Tim Pool and believe it or not, a lot of conservative talking heads or conservative commentators also basically say the same points. They say adults can do whatever they feel like. It's more like like the kids that we have to protect. That's not an unusual position to take. Right now, most conservatives are usually following the same track, which is the libertarian track of people can do whatever the heck they want to themselves, just leave the kids alone.
Yeah. But my point was that there is nothing that Trump can do can make you drop him.
No.
Nothing.
Okay, you're assuming that I had to take like, okay, he said one thing. I'm like, that's it. I'm abandoning Trump, and I'm letting the Democrats.
There has to be a point.
Yeah, of course there has to be a point, man.
Well, what is it?
Like, okay, what? Like, give me. Okay, if he, it's much more like. Okay, it's much more complicated than you're making it. You're making it sound like, is he going to come out tomorrow? And he says that he's going to that he's going to trans every single kid in America? Then yes, I would be like, yeah, I can't support him anymore. Okay? Has he said that? No.
But that was literally my question last week. That was literally my question.
You were asking me like if there was any point. I'm like, well, that's such an open-ended question that
Well, that's the question, Danny, because you have no. Like, everything that we have seen so far, and I'm going to go after you pretty hard on this because I think you're being utterly ridiculous. In that there has been no point that you have gotten to where you will dump Trump in any way. Every single thing, you'll find an excuse for him.
I'm not finding excuses. I'm finding the defenses, effective defenses.
Effective defenses for him being pro-abortion.
No,
for
he's
him
not pro-abortion.
Having socialized education. For him,
actually, he's the one that actually wanted to get rid of the
American Academy of Socialized Education. That's what it is. Free education for all.
The Academy is his attempt to try to to combat the school things. I mean, if you're gonna criticize him, at least
education.
Be accurate. What is socialized education?
Free education for all.
That's government funded. Government funded education is what he was advocating for. Not
he said free.
Education. What?
He said free.
Yes, he's providing free education. That's government-funded education.
Yes,
that's
and that would be the United States.
No, but you're socialized is that every single school across it. Okay, we have socialized medicine in Canada. Okay, that's different than government-funded or exclusively government-funded. Government-funded can be socialized, but socialized doesn't. It's like you can have something government-funded, but that isn't entirely socialized. Right now, they have government-funded abortions. Not everywhere, but in a lot of places.
Yeah, but they do.
Okay, that doesn't mean it's socialized. Socialized means universal.
Yes.
It means across the board, everywhere you go. This is one school that he is advocating for a potential solution. I don't think the solution is effective.
No, it's online. It's available for every American.
Yes, it is available for every American, but it's not every single. It's one school that can have unlimited pupils, Stephen. You're saying socialized education.
I'm just laughing because it's just contorting into a dozen different things.
I'm not contorting, man. You're the one that you're the one that actually believes that Ron DeSantis can somehow pull this out.
Yes,
that is a much more difficult position to actually argue than to say that Trump is going to walk into the domination.
I'm saying that if Trump was the primary candidate. If they were both in the general, and then Trump gets convicted, DeSantis has a higher chance of winning.
I mean, you could make that argument.
Well, the polls show it. Yeah, they do.
The polls show that there would be a change, but we don't but the amount of change that would have to happen is pretty remarkable. People have even said, when Tim Pool had that guy on the show, he even said it's a tough road and it's. Yeah, he's crossing his fingers, and he was full on believing. But there's literally only one potential path for him, and it's a wild card at best.
Yeah,
if you pulled it off. So
I
don't.
And it actually leads into what we're going to be talking about in this next segment. So this is a segment from NBC about the debate yesterday, and it's Vivek, and it is his highlight.
Vivek like cake.
Well, I don't care. Rama flip floppy is Rama
flip
floppy.
Fake like cake. Everyone gets it wrong. It's crazy.
Well, I don't care to get it wrong.
I noticed that.
Why should you be the nominee and not the former president?
I think there's something deeper going on in the Republican Party here, and I am upset about what happened last night. We become a party of losers at the end of the day. It was a cancer to the Republican establishment.
Yep.
Let's speak the truth. I mean, since Ronna McDaniel took over as chairwoman of the RNC in 2017, we have lost 2018, 2020, 2022, no red wave that never came. We got trounced last night in 2023. And I think that we have to have accountability in our party. For that matter, Ron, if you want to come on stage tonight, you want to look the GOP voters in the eye and tell them you resign, I will yield my time to you. And frankly, look, the people there cheering for losing in the Republican Party. Think about who's moderating this debate. This should be Tucker Carlson, Joe Rogan, and Elon Musk. We'd have 10 times the viewership, asking questions that GOP primary voters actually care about and bringing more people into our party. You think the Democrats, and we've got Kristen Walker here, you think the Democrats would actually hire Greg Gutfeld to host a Democratic debate? They wouldn't do it. And so the fact of the matter is, I mean, Kristen, I'm going to use this time because this is actually about you in the media and the corrupt media establishment. Ask you, the Trump-Russia collusion hoax that you pushed on this network for years, was that real or was that Hillary Clinton made up disinformation? Answer the question. Go.
Mr. Roberts.
You avoided it. I was like, no,
accountability, because this media rigged the 2016 election. They rigged the 2020 election with the Hunter Biden laptop story.
Mr. Ramaswamy,
and they're going to rig this election.
Your time is up.
Accountability.
Let me turn to Governor Christie. Why you?
Liquid fire, bro. Liquid fire. That was great.
Oh no, it was good, but he didn't go far enough.
Are you ever going to be satisfied with this guy?
Oh no, he didn't say what the real cancer of the Republican Party is.
What is it?
Trump. Since Trump, the Republicans Party have not won. They have not won. Not a single election.
You're oversimplifying an incredibly massive issue.
No. Like if we're going to be oversimplifying, like you already said. So like we have to keep things simple because you've already said in a previous engagement that you and I have had that like elections are appealing to dumb people. So we need to simplify. Yes, we need to simplify. Trump is the cancer to the Republican Party, and he was the one who nominated Ronna McDaniels and continues to support her to this day.
Disagree.
He doesn't.
No, that's it. Disagree that Trump is the cancer.
Well, yeah, but proven results.
No. I think like you're basically like suggesting
2017,
that Trump is
2018, 2019, 2020, 2021, 2022, 2023.
Steven, do you know what a non sequitur is?
Do you know what like
that's exactly what you're doing right there? It's like, well, like like ever since then, like like we've already lost. Trump was always around, so hence he's got to be responsible. Well,
like Trump was handed the keys to the kingdom. He was handed the keys to the kingdom, and you're kind of like a bunch of half measures. Promised a whole bunch of things, didn't deliver, and then now the Republican Party is floundering because
the Republican Party sucks, man.
Yes, the Republican Party does suck.
It sucked long before Trump ever entered.
Yes.
And people know this. Everyone knows that the Republican Party was already a garbage party long before Trump ever entered.
Yes.
Okay. Ronna McDaniels is a terrible like leader of the RNC, but that's everyone acknowledges it, not just like people who are against Trump.
Yeah, then why would Trump still support her?
I don't know. Okay, I don't know the answer to that, but he's not. No. Like I don't like Ronna McDaniels. Everyone I listen to from like from Charlie Kirk to like
everybody hates Ronna McDaniels except for Trump.
I don't know if he does or doesn't. I haven't been able to follow like his takes on her. I know he if he nominated her, I believe you.
Well, I don't know if he nominated her, and when she came up for re-election last year, he supported her nomination. He was the reason that she got reelected.
Okay, well, I don't know about that. I'll have to take your word for it. But
yeah,
I think Ronna McDaniels is terrible. I think she's done a terrible job. I think the Republican Party itself is a absolutely like terrible party. However, you'll notice
they need to have like I will admit, Trump changed the way that Republicans handle things. So Republicans went from a party that was sort of like, as Michael Knowles so lovingly put it, the court jester in the House of Liberalism. I think that's how he words it. Basically, they were kind of the party that was like, well, we're only going to endorse semi-conservative policies. We're not going to have conservative policies. 2016, Trump actually ran on conservative policies. And in 2020, he did too. And so that's why I'm just like, oh, well, like if Trump was running the same campaign in 2020, I'd be like, okay, cool. But he's not.
He's running a campaign right now.
Well,
a centrist campaign.
Well, yeah, but that's what Republicans lost on in previous years.
Well,
whether or not some centrist campaigns,
whether or not it's a successful strategy, we'll have to wait and see. Right now, without any of the additional things that are coming in the future, all the potentials, right now, that strategy is killing. Okay. That strategy is absolutely nailing it. He's like, not only is he ahead in like the primary polls, but he's also ahead against Joe Biden. Just about every most of the major polls. So if you're saying that the center strategy is not working, that is just not reflected in the polls or even.
Well, no, he basically has the same since he's become a centrist. There hasn't been this gain or loss in polling since he's become a centrist. People who hate Trump are still going to hate Trump.
That's not true. There's been a gain. There's been a gain in the black vote. I actually listened to polls.
Oh, are you going to quote the one that he hit 25% of it?
20% of the black vote was already showing that it was supporting Trump. Biden was more popular in white only areas or states than Trump. And in the more diverse ones, Trump was winning. You have to know that was actually what the polling was showing.
Yeah, the same polls that said that he would get 25, 30% in 2020.
No, he was actually not. No, he's actually farther ahead now. Polling farther ahead now at this point in the election that he was polling in 2020.
But the numbers in 2020 for what the polls said for black votes overestimated his support amongst the black population.
Sure,
by 15 to 20%.
That's fine.
And so, I'm saying these hypothetical numbers amongst the black vote, they're we've seen them before. They do not yes. He gained from 2016 to 2020, but these polls prior to the election in terms of the black vote or the Hispanic vote have not panned out in elections.
Not in elections where Trump is not those are elections that you're talking about. Where are you talking about the elections for Trump?
Federal election. Federal election.
Tweets. Huh?
Federal election.
Election for Trump in 2020. Obviously, we whether or not they materialize or not, there's something going on right now, though. You know it because these numbers in 2020 are even higher now than they were in 2020 and 2016. The idea that Trump is losing support is just not reflected. Okay, in most of the polling are going up. They're not going down.
The disapproval numbers are going up. As some of his approval numbers are going up, his disapproval numbers are also going up. Both of them are rising.
Sense? What are you talking about?
Because he has an equal number.
Okay.
Numbers are rising of those who like him, but equal numbers of rising of those who hate him.
Okay.
And American elections are decided by who is hated more.
If that is true, then why is he winning in 5 of the 6, of the battleground states?
Until the convictions come in. And then the conviction.
That's your response. Is
the convictions will decide it because so many Americans, are waiting until the convictions come in.
Absolutely, I agree with you. I agree that there may be a major shift, but right now, as it stands, Trump is not only doing well against Biden, he's gaining in support right now. Okay, so the whole idea that Trump is not electable and that he can't succeed against Biden, that's already been proven false. Okay. Trump in the polling and a lot of these these things, we know that Biden is losing it and Trump is gaining it. This is why the Democrats are fighting so hard to disqualify Trump in every turn to try to cheat their way back into the election. And they're doing extreme things because they're scared. Because they know they can't win they know that they can't win with Biden at the helm, which is why they're going with somebody else whenever they manage to pull it off. Which again, one of the things that Ramaswamy did was amazing. He actually called him out. He actually said, stop playing with us. We know you're not going to run Joe Biden as the candidate. That is the kind of outspoken guy that I actually would like as a leader. I think he's actually showing legitimate leadership. And this debate was amazing. This guy actually showed up, and he absolutely annihilated everybody. He did a great job. I was really, really impressed with him. This guy actually shows that, he has leadership potential
to be a part of Trump's cabinet. Yes.
Whatever. That's no. And let me put it this way. Okay, you're constantly discounting him, but
because he's not running to be president.
Let's imagine for a second. Let's imagine that Ramaswamy, that Vivek, that Trump got disqualified, and he was for one way or another. He was out of the election, dropped out, whatever, okay? Let's imagine that happened. Who do you think Trump voters are going to go for if that happens?
They will go to Vivek.
Yes. Why?
Because he's refusing to actually go after Trump in any way?
Because he's smart. He actually knows that because he's smart. He knows politically. Okay, how is he setting himself up? He's setting himself up as the alternative to Trump. So if Trump, let's imagine if he was assassinated, God forbid, or something happened that he had to drop out, Vivek is basically set himself up as the person Trump supporters are going to go for, and he's most likely going to win a nomination if Trump is out. That is smart. That is incredibly smart, election strategy. Something that Ron DeSantis did not think of somehow.
Well, Ron DeSantis could never, Ron DeSantis could never have done that because Trump attacked him before he even ran.
Yeah, and you do it in a different way. You don't alienate the voters that are.
How is he supposed to not alienate the voters when Trump was calling him Ron DeSanctimonious before he even announced his candidacy?
Yeah, you're saying that there was absolutely no way that he could have done it ever in any way. That's not
true.
No,
you're saying that the only way that DeSantis could have pulled this off is if DeSantis said, "All hail Trump."
No, he didn't have to say "All hail Trump."
He just had to not run. That's the only way that Trump supporters would have actually gone to him.
He ran a horrible campaign, man. Everyone knows it. Even Ben Shapiro admits it. He did. That's his own fault. Why is he doing so poorly? Why is he not gaining ground? Why is he not gaining any votes or anything like that? Yeah, you can say it's all because of the indictments,
he
25%
one day.
Yeah, the polls have not moved.
Yeah, they haven't moved since then.
Yes, because DeSantis cannot make up any ground because his campaign strategy sucks. His campaign team sucks, and Ron DeSantis just does not have the charisma or the ability to overtake Trump. Okay? If he was actually doing a good job, he would gain back some of that support. But he's not, because he's not doing a good job.
Magadonians, Trump cultists will never drop him.
Okay, the fact that you're calling him Trump cultists,
but they are.
You're
no,
you don't understand.
You proved it last week. Trump cultists.
No, I did not prove anything. No,
yes,
I'm not a Trump cultist. No, because you were asking for
I was asking a very simple question,
which is
very simple question.
Trump could do that would make me not vote for him. Sure, I'll say no. There's many things.
I'm so Danny. I was praying that there would be a point that you would dump him.
I would dump him if he did something
I am so glad that you would actually admit that.
No, I'm glad.
We were our family was super concerned that there wouldn't be a point that you would dump him.
Of course I would dump him, just like I would dump Polyev, just like I would dump any other leader. I was confused, what the heck are you talking about? You're almost you're saying well, he's pro-choice.
Well, no, because every single one of our debates have been charisma versus policy. Every single one of our debates.
That's important for a political leader to run.
Yes. And
policy is not everything.
No, policy is not everything, but charisma isn't everything either.
No, not when you're running for president.
No, when you're running
when you're running for president, that's a popularity contest.
Yeah, it is a popularity contest.
Ron DeSantis is not going to win that because he has zero charisma. The guy is basically a robot up there. You saw him today
Trump
in the
has
debate.
Zero policy.
No, he doesn't. He has amazing policy. Dude, what are you talking about?
I'm sorry, that's so laughable.
What are you talking about?
The guy was best economy. Switched.
He had the best economy in America. That is undeniable, man. People were the American economy was rocking under Trump. He also banned critical race theory in all governments, schools. He had no new wars. He actually, was able to create the peace deals. You're telling me that none of his policies were effective or actually did anything good?
No,
I
didn't say that.
Reductionistic.
I did not say that.
He said he doesn't have policy.
No, because his policy of he's not running on policy in 2024.
He's running on different policies.
He's running on different policies.
Sure.
But he's showing in 2024 that he does not have conviction of belief.
No,
he's not conviction of belief in Republican and conservative principles. Trump believes in himself.
Okay, give me a break, man.
No,
Trump is running at its own loss. Don't give me that this is all about his ego. That's a Democrat talking point. Seriously, man. That's Democratic talking points. Trump is running at great loss to himself, at great risk to himself. Don't give me that this is all self-centered. Don't give me that. That is not an intellectually
tell that to his lawyers.
That is not an intellectually honest attack.
Mm-hmm.
The guy is literally losing money. He is losing like all sorts of things everywhere he goes.
Yes.
Okay. The guy has everything to lose by running. If he actually didn't care at all about Americans or anything like that happening, he would just drop out. He'd be like, "Peace out. I'm out of here." That would be self-centered. That would be selfish. Like you can't argue that the guy is all about like personal gain, because he's not. He stands to lose a lot. He even has like I will say this: I'm not a big fan of RFK Jr. But guess what? I actually respect RFK Jr. for actually being willing to run, because guess what? He is actually at risk of his life is actually in some sort of risk. I have some respect for him. So no, don't give me the idea. Don't give me the talking point that Trump is self-centered or I'm like, give me an
it's an easy
intellectually honest attack.
No, it's an easy point to make. Because you you look at everybody who's a co-conspirator, labeled as a co-conspirator.
This by the Democrats, by this completely fraudulent,
because Trump's.
Are you legitimizing that actual lawsuit?
I am not legitimizing the lawsuit, but I am saying that if Trump actually wanted to play the part and say that I am standing in the way of the Democrat establishment, then he would not have thrown every single one of his supporters and every single one of his co-conspirators under the bus and said they were at fault.
Okay, he would not
have said no. He would not have in the documents case. He would not have said, "Oh no, it was all their fault. I didn't do anything," and they're all like, "No." Like, we're all at fault because we knew it was wrong.
Okay,
because he told us to do it.
Imagine if somebody's taken hostage with a whole bunch of other people, and then in the hostage situation, they basically say whatever they can. They think is going to get them out of that hostage situation, but that might mean that some of the other hostages left behind. I'm like, this problem is the situation, not the specific person that's been because these people have all been dragged into a lawsuit that could completely totally decimate all of them.
Yes.
The person you should be angry at is not Trump. It's the people that put him and everyone else into that position. Again, like the January 6th, people are like, "Oh, you shouldn't have done." I'm like, January 6th was a setup job by the Democrats,
yes,
and by the DOJ, by everyone else. So I'm like, no, I don't get mad at anybody who's basically scrounging for their lives in January 6th. I'm like, I get mad at the people who did this to everybody. Like, that's what I get mad at.
Yeah,
okay.
But if he actually wanted to make a solid campaign on that, then it'd be like, okay, we are going to stand unified as one group.
Okay, yeah, I don't know why he's doing everything that he's doing. Okay, I'll give you that. I don't understand. I in this kind of scenario where I don't know everything. I don't know every scenario. I don't know every situation. But I know this: Trump has earned, at least for me, the benefit of the doubt. He has been absolutely amazing for the last during his first presidency. He made a lot of mistakes. And I will concede, I will absolutely accept that he made a lot of mistakes. He made a lot of mistakes with the COVID crap, absolutely. Okay? But I'm willing to give him the benefit of the doubt because he was arguably one of the best thing that happened. And because the Democrats are so horrible right now, that the idea that you're going to be well, Trump is terrible, let's just give it all back to the Democrats. I'm like, that's not an option. If you have to choose between Trump and the abyss, I'm surprised that people would be like, well, Trump is terrible, let's just hop into the abyss. I'm like, no, I don't like Polyev. I don't think he's the best possible conservative leader, but I think he's 10 billion times better than Trudeau.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, and I would vote for him because I dislike Trudeau as much as I do. Yeah, but I think people get caught up in the news cycle about Trump. I've seen too many things about Trump that make me like him too much.
And Trump I have seen too many things that make me absolutely despise him.
And you have the right to believe that. That's fine. If you don't like him, that's totally fine, man.
And one of them is actually this.
Okay.
So, Ohio issue 1, voters approve adding abortion rights to state constitution.
Okay.
So BBC's U.S. partner CBS News projected a decisive victory for the amendment. Almost 57% of voters in the conservative-leaning state backed the measure. It is a success, likely to bolster Democrats' hopes that abortion rights remaining a winning issue ahead of elections in 2024. It also extends an unbeaten record for ballot measures designed to protect abortion rights since the nationwide right to abortion Rights or procedure was rescinded by the Supreme Court last year. This is the seventh such measure to pass, but Ohio's measure, known as Issue 1, is widely seen as the toughest fight so far for abortion rights supporters. It is the first Republican-led state to consider changing its constitution to explicitly guarantee the right.
Mm-hmm.
And I just have one thing to look up.
Oh.
Yeah, I'm just looking up something.
You want me to talk about this?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So I knew that I think everybody knew this was coming. So when Roe v. Wade was probably one of those things that I don't think anybody believed for a long time that it could be done. Like it's like the Megamind thing, like he's fought his whole life to to defeat Metro Man, and he's like, when he finally did, he's like, you did it. It's like, we did it, and I think that was Roe. But now we're seeing the blowback from Roe. One of the things that Roe did is one of the safeguards that it had is that it basically restricted abortion, or didn't restrict abortion up until the idea of viability. Viability was a very nebulous term, which is why it was kind of hard to enforce. But at least they had the idea that viability should be the limitation. But the problem now is that the pro-abortion side, because they're fanatics and they're cult in their advocacy, they have now ramped up the abortion fight, and now they're throwing all their money, all their weight into trying to basically ratify abortion into pretty much every state as much as they can. So they know that the battle's changed. Now it's all about state by state. And so this is kind of like we've been thrown back to the pre-Civil War era. The same essential fight is happening that happened before. Like back then, it was like slavery, pro-slavery states versus pro-freedom states, so free states and slave states, right? And that was the way the battle was going.
Mm-hmm.
The problem is, and I agree with Tim Pool on this one, is that this is not going to end well, because you're going to basically have battles you're going to have states like Colorado that'll have abortion up to nine months.
Mm-hmm.
And you have states like Oklahoma where they've basically banned abortion.
Yep.
And then you're going to have the massive clashes between the states as well, how does it work? Can somebody flee to Colorado, have an abortion and come back? Do people have the right to go in there or not? Ultimately, the question is this is a personhood issue.
Mm-hmm.
But right now, it's getting worse, not better.
Yeah.
And that's the issue in Ohio. I think this is why we underestimate pro-choice advocates in the States.
Well, and of course, we also forget that Republicans need to be fairly assuring to the general populace that this is an issue that will have to be addressed on a state-by-state measure in a different manner in a state-by-state measure. You're not going to be able to pass the same bills in Florida, and you're not going to be able as New York. It's not going to happen. You're not going to have a 6-week ban in New York. Now, the way that the Ohio representatives presented this argument, the pro-abortion side in this argument presented, they actually used in some of their campaigns, they used Trump's words.
Mm-hmm.
They were saying, oh yeah, no, abortion restrictions are a terrible thing.
Yep.
And then they use that in a lot of their campaign ads. Because they're like, oh yeah, no, conservatives want to strip you away your rights, and even Trump says it's terrible.
Yeah, they did the same thing with DeSantis, though, when he said that it's Republicans that actually, Republicans and Trump that actually, led to the crazy spending from the last debate.
Yes.
So, the Democrats will use anybody and anything.
Well, yeah, they will. But, you have to be especially if you're supporting a side, you have to be, very, very clear on what you're supporting and what your words are.
Sure. And that's the thing, to me, people always say, they don't like Trump because he's not political enough, or he doesn't talk like a politician. I'm like, I actually like him because he doesn't talk like a politician. To be honest,
well,
I can't stand political.
That's not the argument for why most people, like people that don't like Trump, that's not the argument they use.
Yeah, they use him because they like that he's outspoken, and they like that he doesn't like pussyfoot around, and he actually goes straight after the things that people are pissed off. Like he's the voice for the voiceless. A lot of people have said this, man, and I agree with them. I agree. Trump is like the fact that Trump is outspoken and that he just goes straight after the news. A lot of people love that about him. I don't know. Go for
Doesn't pussyfoot. We can't take a stance on abortion.
That's called being centrist, man. Like I said before.
Yes. Okay. Then say it.
It's not.
Say the
all
words.
Or nothing. It's not all or nothing.
Well, no, but I'm just saying that you can't say, like, okay, here, question.
Okay. Go for it.
Is Trump pro-life?
Yes.
Okay, then.
Is Nikki Haley pro-life?
She says she is. Her answer yesterday was pretty flip-floppy.
It was, but is she pro-life?
I would say she's probably one of those personally pro-life, but then politically pro-choice people.
Okay, but she advocates for pro-life causes. Okay,
yeah, she does.
Pro-life. The problem here is that, like, how do we define pro-life?
I would say doing everything that they can to defend the unborn.
Okay, so it's an all or nothing policy.
Well, no. Say, like, so yeah, you can be pro-life, but still be supporting. It's like, okay, we'll do everything we can in the individual district, like within reason.
Got to fly in the screen.
I know. We'll do everything we can within reason, within what we have in our districts, to support the removal of abortion and the saving of as many babies as possible.
Okay. Has Trump actually said that he's pro-choice?
No, he just said that pro-life policies are terrible. And he blames this measure. This measure failed in part because Trump blames pro-lifers for Republican losses.
Trump, okay, so there's two strategies that people will have for how they're gonna win on the pro-life issue. Number one is the all or nothing strategy, which is like full ban. That's what we're going for. It's all or nothing.
Yeah.
The other strategy is the incremental strategy. We have to win small victories wherever we can.
There isn't a Republican politician in any of these states or in the Senate or in Congress which is saying that there should be a complete ban without exceptions. Not a single person is saying that.
No, but you're saying it has to be because he said what did he call a terrible policy? He called a terrible policy
6 weeks in Florida.
6 weeks because he said that is going to because underneath it all, if you think about the strategy politically, that is going to fuel, people have even said that's going to fuel the fires for the very, very pro-abortion supporters that want to accuse all pro-lifers of trying to ban abortion all at once. Even the Democrats follow that strategy. Think about it. When it comes to banning guns, do we know that the Democrats want to ban guns?
Yes.
Obviously, everybody knows that they want to ban guns. Are they ever going to say that?
Yes.
No. Well, some of them stupidly will say that, but for the most part, they're all trying to say oh no, we don't want to ban guns. We just want to we want to protect kids. We want to it's all about safety. It's all about protecting human life. They always use all those different strategies. The Democrats follow that logic. Anyway,
but they're still going to campaign on a national level to have okay, we're going to have a baseline.
A baseline what?
A baseline restriction on guns.
That's what they want. They use the gun control idea.
Yeah,
right.
They've campaigned for it over and over and over again. In a federal level.
Sure. Okay, so the only place where we're drawing the idea that Trump is not pro-life is from one comment that he made in one interview where he criticized
and what he said in 2022,
which is
he accused all Republicans against. So this is what he said. He said it was the abortion issue poorly handled by Republicans, especially those that firmly existed on no exceptions, even in the case of rape, incest, or life of the mother, that lost a large number of voters.
Okay,
not a single Republican advocates for that.
Well, is he wrong that the abortion issue was a huge a very a very costly issue for Republicans in a lot of the previous elections. He's right.
Not because
like the abortion issue was a very
it was poorly done in how they handled it. Like Republicans and pro-lifers need to realize that they can't that there isn't going to be, and they need to be very clear about this. And that was actually one really, really good answer from Ron DeSantis yesterday. Was it's all right, well, we can't have the same policy in Florida as we have in Ohio.
Absolutely,
we can't have that.
But we're not going to accomplish it in one. Not going to happen. You need to have at least 60 votes from the Senate. That's not going to happen. We need to have the majority of the House voting in favor of some kind of some kind of a major legislation. Restricting abortion in a major way. That's not going to happen.
Well, no, it's not going to be happen on a federal level.
No, it's not.
It should happen on a federal level. There should at least be the
ideal.
Well, no, I'm saying that there should be a campaign to be okay, there has to be a baseline of whether it's 20 weeks or whether it's 15 weeks on a federal level.
Different. Well, I mean, every state's going to pick a different baseline.
Well, no. I'm saying that as a federal policy, there is massive widespread support for at least a 20-week ban federally.
Yeah, that's fine.
And that would be saying, okay, this is the most that we can do to protect life on a very baseline federal level. And then saying, all right, so these states, they're going to go along with what their voters have said. And we have to be very clear that all of these things the Democrats are saying are gaslighting. Going along with the gaslighting is not helping.
He's like I said before, this is a strategy. It's a centrist strategy. He's trying to avoid losing support by using a middle of the road strategy. Doesn't mean he's going pro-choice. That's basically the point I'm trying to make here.
Well, but you can't both be strong on policy and not pussyfooting, and then compromising.
No, you can. This is what I hate about politicians. Daniel Smith does not come out hard and strong supporting pro-life.
No.
Nor does Pierre Poilievre.
No, they don't say that they are pro-life.
No, do I abandon them as political leaders because they're not willing to make big
you and I would both say Daniel Smith is not pro-life. Pierre Poilievre is not pro-life.
I don't know if they are or not. I know
both of them have openly said that they're not.
Okay, I didn't know that. Okay.
Yeah, both of them are well, there's no point even touching it.
Okay, so
now,
but
I wish Danielle Smith would kind of touch it, because there is actually a majority of UCP candidates who are pro-life here in Alberta, but the federal, there's a federal measure which prevents us from doing that, because I think it's the National Access to Healthcare Act or something ridiculous here in Canada, which prevents the provinces from actually making their own abortion legislation. But I would not say that Danielle Smith, yes, I will support them. They're good conservatives. But I'm not going to say that they are pro-life.
Okay.
Because their policies and their words have said otherwise.
Okay, that's fine. Trump is like everything. I have not yet heard a thing where Trump has actually claimed or even said that he's pro-choice. He has not said that he's pro-choice. He has never advocated for pro-choice policies or Democratic Democrat style pro-choice policies. Okay. At worst, he's basically just neutral on the abortion issue right now because it wasn't going to lose votes. Okay. If you're willing to support Daniel Smith and Pierre Poilievre, if they're not at all advocating for pro-life issues at all, as politicians, why wouldn't you support Trump in the same way? If he's not going to
do we have a pro-life what's a pro-life candidate polling at here in Canada?
I don't know. I know that there's pro-life candidates in both the federal and the provincial.
Yep.
Conservative
Thank
party.
You, Conqueror. Thank you. Yep. That's.
I don't believe he will allow it all. He's kind of like Tim Pool in the way that he's talking about it now. He's just being neutral on the abortion issue. He's I think ultimately Trump already did more for the pro-life movement than any other politician, and I'm really thankful for that. Even if he doesn't do anything more right now, that the battle has to be at the state level.
Yep.
Not at the federal level. So even if Trump basically stays out of it and basically decides to like just go neutral on the abortion issue right now, that is still better than almost anybody else.
Yeah. Well, with the exception that he's not going neutral.
He's not going pro-choice.
Well, but he's only attacking pro-lifers.
He's attacking, Ron DeSantis. He's attacking Republican people who are not handling the abortion issue properly.
Yeah,
which I agree with. I agree with that. Yeah.
Well,
he's not advocating for pro-choice policies.
No,
he's criticizing Republican policies that are hurting people at the polls.
Well, I think you're confusing. So what is happening in these states? So these states that have passed 6-week abortion laws. Yes, the one in Ohio, the Congress and the Republicans in Ohio did manage it poorly. Yes, they did.
Yeah.
Because they failed to frame the question properly.
Absolutely.
And yes, Conquerworm is right. Christians are not standing against abortion either. That's part of why we went to the Life Chain back at the start of October, and we had 150 people out, and I was going after people in Calgary really hard because it shows a massive amount of cowardice.
Absolutely.
And in the United States, they're a lot less cowardly about this
than
they are here in Canada. A lot bigger pro-life movement, mostly just because of how... and I think that stems very much so in terms of how Canada and the United States were formed. Canada and the United States was a country that was formed on mutiny and revolution. And we're going to stand, and that means actually defending our freedoms and defending our rights. Whereas Canada was like, well, like, we just want to be tolerated, and things are bad, but we'll just kind of live with it.
We had a government me harder, daddy policy.
In effect, yeah, we did. We had we're just going to live with it, and we're going to accept it. And then people have still accepted that, and we had a good run during Harper.
Yep.
Because Harper was like, well, I'm not going to impede upon your rights. I'm not going to take away anything. Like, I'm a conservative, but I'm not, like, an American style. Like, he basically labeled himself. He's like, I'm a conservative, but I'm not an American style conservative. Because he didn't want to be associated. Yeah. And that's unfortunate that that's what you have to do here in Canada. But in the United States... like, the messaging needs to improve.
Absolutely.
But the policies, like, you can win in various states if you have the right message.
Yep.
And the message doesn't have to be, oh, like, pro-lifers are always awful.
Yeah. You can win a lot of states with with a very hard line pro-life, very hardline pro-life stance. The question is whether or not you can win federally with a very hardline pro-life stance. That's the real question. Nobody
is saying that you can.
No, I'm saying like it's more difficult in the federal, particularly like in the post-roll era right now. That's the strategy right now. Well, like my favorite way is like what Charlie Kirk said. And I actually really respected him. I thought he actually understood it very well. He said, Charlie Kirk talks about abortion, and he is absolutely unequivocally clear that he is against all abortion. He wants a complete ban. He thinks it's murder, all that kind of stuff. I'm a Christian, and I'm a political commentator Christian. I can say the exact same thing. Charlie Kirk was honest enough to say, if he was running for office, if he was a politician, he would have to be a lot more calculated and a lot more strategic in what he says. He knows that. He knows that if he was running for any kind of office, you have to now play a strategy. This is why everyone who goes into politics eventually starts talking like everyone in the political, space. So you use like guarded language. You never actually say what you mean. You use like all sorts of ridiculous terms and all that kind of stuff. And like I understand that. If you're in politics, you can't say every single thing that comes into your mind. You definitely can't say. You have to be a lot more thoughtful and strategic about what you're saying because there's political strategy. If Daniel Smith or Pierre Poilievre came out today and said we're unequivocally pro-life and we're going to like fight for an abortion ban, they'd be out.
Mm-hmm.
It wouldn't even be close. It would be like an automatic, like you're out of here, like forever, because it's just not popular. So if Daniel Smith was actually like pro-life, I doubt we know it, because she has to be very careful about what she says because she's a political leader. So that's the way I look at it. It's different in politics than particularly in federal politics than it is in state politics, where you can be a lot more free to basically share your ideas.
Yep. Oh no, I'm not advocating against that.
Mm-hmm.
Anyways, let's go on to It's a Trap. Okay, so opening story for It's a Trap. American lawyer arrested for fatally shooting environmental protesters at Panama road blockade.
Oh, this is crazy.
Yeah, it was. Kenneth Darlington allegedly opened fire after he got stuck in a traffic jam caused by protesters blocking a highway. An irate American man has been arrested in Panama after he allegedly shot dead two environmental activists who were part of protesters blocking a busy highway on Tuesday afternoon. Dramatic incident was captured on video and posted online. Retired lawyer Kenneth Darlington was identified as the man featured in the shocking video. The incident unfolded after he got stuck in a traffic jam due to a blockade demonstrators had set up on the Pan American Highway in Cam, about 50 miles west of Panama City, the country's capital, police said. Darlington, who has gray hair and a beard, was captured on video walking up to the protesters who were protesting a government mining contract that allows a Canadian company to resume extracting copper for at least the next 20 years. So this is a picture of him pointing a gun at the protesters. And so he can be seen exchanging words before pulling out a gun. He tries to move some of the items being used to block the roads and begins waving the gun around. Some protesters can be seen quarreling with the suspect before he lifts his right hand and apparently shoots one of the victims, who slumps to the ground while holding the flag. The suspect then opens fires again, striking another man in a black t-shirt who can be seen staggering over to the side of the road where he falls down. One of the victims died at the scene, when another succumbs to his injuries later in the hospital. So, this was shocking.
Now, have you seen the video, Stephen?
I have not.
Yeah, I saw the video. It's amazing that there's an actual video out there of the actual shooting taking place. It's crazy.
All right, well, I'm gonna. So we'll have we'll have the audio.
Yeah. It's short. It's on Twitter. You're gonna have to. Yeah, you'll have to find it on Twitter. But
I'm looking. So that's the picture. The picture.
Yeah, right there. You see it. There it is. Yeah.
My goodness.
Johnny, just shoots him. Just shoots him.
Whoa.
No threat whatsoever.
No threats. Just raises his gun and shoots the guy.
It was full on execution style.
Oh, that was. Yeah. That's nuts.
Yeah. Because usually you never know in these stories. Remember how we covered last? I think it was on Tuesday. We covered the story of the guy who was hit over the head with a megaphone. And the media tried to cover it like it was oh man, hits his head on the ground and dies.
Yeah, dies. It specifically said dies from falling over, and it was I remember telling that to my mom, and she's like, "But you said," I'm like, "Yeah, no, he died because the guy hit him with the megaphone," and she's like, "And they got away with that?" I'm like, "Well, not for long," because they were very clear about. No, you cannot present clear and open lies to protect your class. Because that's nonsense. But this, I understand, and there was actually a fairly interesting kind of a opposition. So Matt Walsh presented it on the show today, so he covered this story, and then right before this story, he actually talked about an incident where there were Just Stop Oil protesters. I think they were in someplace in the United States.
No, the UK. That was
the
UK when they hit the painting with the hammer.
No.
Oh, which one?
I'm gonna look it up. So Just Stop Oil.
Mm-hmm. They do so much good work, Stephen. It's hard to keep track.
Well, no, but they stopped and yeah. So here it is. So Sky News. I will.
Okay. You gonna pull it up?
See if they. Yeah, I'll pull it up. So.
Yeah, Sai. It's a tragic story.
Just Stop Oil have been accused of blocking an ambulance on blue lights as it's tried to make its way through a demonstration on a bridge in London. Police say they have made multiple arrests. Our correspondent Alice Porter has more.
I hope so.
It's been a busy week for Just Stop Oil, and I think today it's going to be some pretty bad PR because, as you were just saying there, it was on Waterloo Bridge today, that bridge on Waterloo Bridge in central London. The Met said officers have been making arrests there, but this is on...
But so essentially the story was the guy in the ambulance, according to what Matt Walsh had heard, the guy was having a heart attack. And they refused to part to let the ambulance through. And so,
honestly, this does not surprise me at all.
Oh, no, it doesn't surprise me at all. It reminds me very much of the kind of incident we saw a few months ago where they blocked that one woman who her child was having a medical incident.
Yeah, emergency.
Yeah, and she's like screaming at, they could not care less. Because, well, to them, and we've talked about this, it's black and white. It's whether you're either with us or against us, and if you're against us, then it doesn't matter whether you and your children die. It's the same kind of rationale that a lot of these kind of Hamas supporters and Palestinian people have against the Israelis. It's like, oh, it's okay. It's okay to kill children. It's okay to slaughter them in cold blood because, well, the Israelis as a whole are not on our team. And it's like, well, that's horrifying. And so we understand the anger. We understand the angst against organizations like Just Stop Oil. We understand the anger against climate protesters. Like, especially, like, if anybody had a rationale for pulling out a gun and shooting, like, if that woman, if those people refuse to get out of her way and she's like, my toddler is having a medical incident, I need to get to the hospital. If she pulled out a gun and shot one, I'd be like, nope, don't care. Like, this is self-defense. But
at that point, you're
that's a different story.
Yeah.
Whereas this guy, like, yes, altercation, emotions are high, tensions are high, and the guy pulls out the gun and executes it. And this is why, like, this is entirely why we started the channel. We were talking. Oh my goodness, Sai.
What?
Oh, Sai today. So he said, just today on another stream, I was talking with a person who claims that Hamas never killed any babies on October 7th and asked for proof. How can I deal with this?
Oh, there's videos.
There are videos. And then if they respond, say that it's propaganda, you're like, yes, it is propaganda, but it's propaganda from Hamas. They're the ones claiming it. They're the ones promoting it.
Claiming that it didn't happen?
No. So Hamas was the one who posted the videos of the babies dying.
Right.
Like, they were the ones who were live streaming their own, like, body cam footage of taking out children.
They're not exactly trying to hide it.
And so, like, we understand. Generally, Simos, we literally showed that at the start of the show.
We did. We showed it at the very beginning.
Yep. So, come to the show late. It's actually funny because you and Veldrain both mentioned things that we did at the start of the show. So, yes. And as I said earlier, like, shout out to my brother who showed me Welcome to the Columbia Yosemite video because it was just hilarious. I was showing it to my coworkers and they're all just dying laughing.
Yep.
Anyways, so unfortunately, like, we see the rising tensions not just on the issue of climate protesters. There are rising tensions in nearly all facets where seemingly small issues become these massive screaming fests.
Yeah, so, and this is why it's a trap, because, like, everyone's getting angry everywhere, and it's getting out of control. And by the way, this is by design.
It is.
Because people are not given any recourse in the streets. People are not given any recourse anywhere. And so people are just getting pissed.
The video is not on the Daily Caller. It has the Twitter. It has the Twitter post.
I'll see if I can find it.
Yeah.
While you're talking about it. But yeah, what happened in that altercation, Steve?
I'm just seeing if there's in this New York Post article. Okay, so this one. Here, I have a video for it. What's up, Curtis? Okay, then you need to test mommy, okay? Curtis, do you want to say goodnight to everybody? No, you don't want to say goodnight to everybody?
Not when I'm in a bad mood.
Well, Daddy can't right now, so. Alright, so this is this kind of raging woman defends her right to recline. So, I don't know whether there's language or not. I haven't seen this video.
No, you see this? No, she didn't. She put no. I'm allowed to put my seat back. I'm allowed to put my seat back. I'm allowed to put my seat back.
Unspoken thing most people don't do. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Wow.
Now, like in terms of reclining on a plane, like yes, coach is exceptionally cramped. I get
Yes,
that.
it is.
Like I flew in coach when I flew to Toronto back in 2021, and yeah, I was like propped up against the thing, and I'm like, all right, nope. Like I get it. I paid for cheap seats, and like you should be if you are wanting to recline in coach. This should be something you kind of like bring up. So like when the seatbelt sign is off, like you wait until the seatbelt sign is off. And
Yeah,
then
well,
you
that's for sure.
and then you get up and you turn around and you say, "Hi. Is it possible for me to recline my seat?" And just let me know when it's too much. Like having a dialogue with the person instead of just I'm going to force my seat back. Like I understand if somebody forced their seat back without telling me to be like, "Hey, like don't do that. Please stop." Like I'm squished.
Well, the fact, look, it says that the guy was actually
the guy was forcing it.
He was shoving the seat up, or like like rocking and all that. I'm like,
yeah, and
okay,
that's totally inappropriate.
You've already lost the
So like
the conversation.
I understand like it. I don't know whether the woman was like forcing her her seat into recline anyway, but yeah, like you have to be shrewd. You can't be rude when having these discussions with like general people that you're encountering.
Oh,
in the
he
world.
said the thing.
I
He
know.
said the thing.
Well, like yeah, that's the entire point of the show, is to have rational conversations, no matter what the topic is about, and politeness and respect goes a long way. Now there are points, and like Danny and I have both reached this, when politeness and when you kind of go past the point of politeness because the person who's against you has such nonsensical viewpoints or such absolutely ridiculous viewpoints to the point of like, oh, they're going to attack you no matter what you do, that you're going to have to troll a little bit.
Yeah.
But this is not a situation for that.
Yeah.
But there are more videos.
Yeah, well, I mean, people are getting mad everywhere, and it's getting really out of hand.
So
this one was like, okay, so
I haven't seen this.
This is going to be a lot of react, but like, this is like, okay, so think of this one. Stephen, do you remember that guy in the UK, the black kid who did all these prank videos? He stole that woman's dog. He ran into somebody's house.
Needed a good clocking.
By the way, here's what the text. Now I can't verify this. I didn't go through it, but here's what the guy who posted this said. Did he go too far? TikTok prankster throws a snake. Like I'm guessing this is a real snake.
Live snake.
I'm guessing that's what caused this, but this is what he says. TikTok prankster throws a snake at woman's car and gets humbled by her husband. That's what they say. But look at how they this is just catching the reaction of the husband. So what?
Okay, hold on. No, that's a live snake.
Yeah, I couldn't see it.
Okay, no, like if you look really slowly, the snake moves. The snake moves its head.
Is it in the car already?
No, it's right there. Like it's like he hasn't thrown it in, but he's like hovering over the. He's like
Mm-hmm.
And like the woman inside the vehicle is. It says he throws the snake, but from the video, it looks like he's just kind of like I'm gonna like put this up against you.
Oh, okay. Yeah, you're right. When I was watching that, I thought what he was holding was a phone.
No, he's holding the snake.
Phone in one hand, and he's holding the snake in the other hand. Because they say that he wrecks the guy's phone or something like that. But yeah, like that's the kind of thing. People have had enough. People are just pissed off, and they're finally like they're not even putting up with this kind of stuff. Good night, Curtis.
He says good night, buddy. Everybody else does too.
Like people aren't putting up with this kind of crap anymore because they know that people are doing these things. There's no sense of like people just don't have courtesy anymore.
Mm-hmm.
They're doing these things. They don't care about people's reactions. They don't care about how people are gonna or what is gonna really truly freak people out. When I was working in youth ministry and childcare, like I would pull pranks on people, but I would also be like, is this the kind of person that I think can handle a prank before I would do it? Because there's certain people I'm like, no, they can't. They don't have that temperament, and they cannot handle a joke. And so I'm like, I'm not going to do a prank on them because they're going to be more upset. They're not going to be lighthearted, and they're not going to see it as harmless fun. But this is the kind of like anger. Like I'm seeing this everywhere nowadays. I don't know if you guys are seeing this too, but I'm seeing people are now they've had enough. People are just done with this kind of stuff, and we're seeing the anger really start to proliferate all over the States. And this one was really like well defined in the next video. This is an altercation that took place on a football field. I saw this week, and I was like, this is like how people are just reacting now. They're just reacting in anger and getting pissed off. People are like, this is where that F around and find out kind of meme. This is why it's so popular nowadays.
Yeah.
Watch this. I want to see Steven's reaction.
Oh no, I saw the video because it kept replaying.
Okay.
So like I don't know what happens with the audio. So I just know the guy walks up to him and gets clocked.
We should don't touch me. No. You guys spit at him. What's up? Just clock him. See that?
Yep.
You're having an argument. The guy has to walk away. He spits at him.
Yep.
And then he starts walking away. The guy literally comes up to him, puts his hand in his face. He puts his hand up. And the guy basically responds with a punch, right?
Yep.
Do you think that was justified? No, that's the real question. No?
Like, yeah, the guy's yelling at him. But like he's yelling at he's coming right at him, but the guy also
put his hands up.
Before the punch?
Yes, before the punch. Look what he's doing. I'm not saying he deserved the punch. I'm saying that the guy's already pissed off. The guy, like, he goes up, like, I think he actually, like, yeah, like, go a little bit before. You can see he puts his hands up. Yeah. His arms, like, not straight up, but he's, like, definitely, like,
going it up. So, like, you can sort of tell when you try and move it in slow motion. He puts his arms up as the guy's, like, winding back to swing. So, like, right now, he has his arms like this.
Go before this. Right there. Look, and he puts his arms straight up.
Yeah, to point
at
the guy.
Takes a swing. Yeah, to point at the guy, and then the guy
clocks him.
Takes a swing. Yes.
So
heat of the moment.
Yeah,
heat of the moment. The guy goes up, puts his hand up. I'm not sure what he's doing. Maybe he's going middle finger. Maybe whatever he's doing, pointing at him. But I'm not saying this is justified. I'm saying people are now. You're seeing this everywhere. People are just not. There's just like a heat that's happening. Now, the reason why I thought this was it's a trap is because this is the climate that they're building everywhere. Okay? People are like, the climate protesters. Why are people pissed off? Because the police are letting them do their thing and they're not trying to intervene. And people are just getting pissed off and nobody is doing anything about it and nobody is allowed to do anything about it and they're just getting pissed off about it. Why are people fighting on flights? Because everyone is pissed off at the way that flights have gotten worse and worse and worse. And most of these companies are especially during COVID, they just piss people off like crazy. And so people are like losing it. And then on top of that, like you just get this temperature. So I'm thinking we're heading towards that kind of like the V for Vendetta scene, the iconic scene where he's like, what do you think is going to happen? Like, detective, it's like, I don't know what'll happen exactly, but somebody's going to do something stupid. And they're going to do something like, that's going to absolutely inflame everyone. And then it's just going to be absolute like chaos after that. I can see that happening right now. I really can. I don't know about you, Steven. I think like something incredibly stupid might happen at some point in the next while, and then it's just gonna be like fireballs. So yeah, I don't know. Keep an eye out. I don't know what you guys think, but that's what I think is gonna happen.
Yep.
Everyone
Generalissimo, as the great philosopher M. Tyson used to say, until they get punched in the mouth. Yep.
It's true.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
So, all right.
I definitely did not.
No, he definitely did not have a plan.
He did not go in there thinking like, hey, I might get punched. Poof.
Yeah,
as you can
just
tell
get clocked. All right,
yeah.
So time to go into the news that you may have missed, to talk about the news that you may have missed. We're going to try and go through this reasonably quickly because we're already at an hour and 40 minutes.
Let's do it, man.
And I have to be up at 5.
Yeah, let's do it, man. Hurry,
and we always get stuck into this.
Yes, we do.
All right,
yeah, let's go.
So Canadian Powerlifting Union is set to suspend female bodybuilder April Hutchinson for 2 years after she slammed transgender rival who smashed records and bragged about it. We talked about this in previous stories. Hutchinson is said to be banned from powerlifting for 2 years after criticizing a record-breaking transgender rival. She was punished for an appearance on Piers Morgan Uncensored in August, where she remarked on the physical advantage that a male has over a female, which is obvious and true. Mm-hmm. Hutchinson spoke out against rival Anne Andres, a transgender powerlifter who is now the Canadian national champion, which is, of course, totally illegitimate.
Mm-hmm.
Like, there's nothing more that needs to be said. Totally illegitimate. Totally illegitimate. His record as a female powerlifter was smashed by like a former Canadian national coach who who basically just said, I'm going to identify as female for an hour, break your record because you're a scum.
By the way, I think anyways, that's all we got to say about that. Okay, Post Millennial. This from Post Millennial. Petition launch in Canada to ban Tucker Carlson from entering the country. Boy, we in Canada, we really love our guilt by association and our censorship. Tucker Carlson will travel to Calgary on January 24th, 2024 to share an event with Alberta Premier Danielle Smith. And the news that Tucker Carlson is coming to Calgary on January 24th to share an event with her has set off alarm bells throughout the Canadian left. It has even provoked a petition. The Premier's office confirms Smith's presence at the event, and obviously she does not subscribe to every view of the interviewer. This is just basically like they're making a mountain out of a molehill. Let's bring it on. I love the idea that Tucker's coming, but the Canadian leftists are fully shriek mode. Let's go on to the next one.
Yep. Okay. So Newsweek, Joe Manchin gives Republicans an early Christmas gift. So he's announced Thursday he will not run for re-election in 2024, given the common perception West Virginia is a deep red state. Manchin's decision would likely be seen by Republicans as a chance by
Republican.
Yes,
we're gonna get a Republican in that seat. It's gonna be great.
Yeah, they will. Like Manchin was basically he was as conservative as a Democrat would be, but yeah, still want to have a good Republican in there. Who's actually
it's kind of like Sinema from Arizona.
Yep. All right, and then finally, not a good from the Post Millennial, Canadian nurse forced to testify on their cross-examination. Get this, that women don't have penises. Canada's a joke. On Monday, Amy Ham, the BC nurse, women's rights advocate, and mother of two, entered day 19 of her disciplinary hearing with the British Columbia College of Nurses and Midwives over her acknowledgement that only two genders exist. I've testified under oath in Canada in 2023 that women don't have penises. Lesbians also do not have penises. Males are never lesbians, despite their gender identity claims. They are heterosexual men. That human sex is immutable and never assigned at birth. It just is. You're a male or a female, Ham told the Post Millennial. Ham sat for cross-examination by Barbara Finlay, who writes her name in lowercase as a protest against oppression, representing the crazy organization. Shortly before the proceedings began, Ham sent out a tweet to her multitudes of supporters who have popularized I Stand with Amy Ham. So basically, this woman
is being put through a kangaroo court for having the audacity to speak out against the sacred, holy ritual of the Rainbow Club and the Rainbow Mafia in BC. So, yeah, keep her in your prayers. This poor lady is being raked through the coals right now. Raked through the coals. All right, Stephen.
Yep.
Ready to go? How was that for speed?
It was speedy. I like it.
Yay! We got this. We got this under the ground.
Okay, well, we got to keep going. We got to keep pressing.
All right. Well, this is now the next segment.
This is now the nothing to see here. Yes.
Invincible.
So in today's segment of Nothing to See Here, the House votes to censure Representative Rashida Tlaib over her Israel-Hamas rhetoric in a stunning rebuke. So the House voted late Tuesday to censor Democratic Representative Rashida Tlaib, the only Palestinian-American in Congress, an extraordinary rebuke of her rhetoric about the Israel-Hamas war. So 234-188 tally came after Democrats joined the Republicans to censure Tlaib, a punishment one step below expulsion from the House, which she should be. The three-term Congresswoman has long been a target of criticism for her views on the decades-long conflict in the Middle East, and of course her views today, which kind of excuse the deaths of Israelis. Debate on the censure resolution on Tuesday afternoon was emotional and intense. Republican Representative Rich McCormick pushed the measure in response to what he called Tlaib's promotion of anti-Semitic rhetoric, which is true, she did. He said she has levied unbelievable falsehood about our greatest ally Israel on the attack on October 7th. She still claims that Israel attacked the hospital.
Of course she does, because she's never going to take anything back.
And then this is the extreme leftist and hinged rants after the House voted to censor Tlaib for anti-Semitism.
I have to admit, I think they're going for an Oscar. I really do think that they are. These women are like the most like it's like, imagine trying to play act in order to get the attention that you want. It's truly
Yeah. So let's go with some of the. So here, there were still Democrats who defended Tlaib. Debbie Dingell. Yeah. So this is her.
Let's call her Debbie Dingleberry.
Every other member of this body has. And this resolution is an attack on that fundamental right. I spent all weekend in Michigan this last weekend talking to all the communities about the meaning of this phrase. And there are very strong feelings on all sides. And it's very clear that people interpret words in different ways. Personally, I choose not to use a phrase that is offensive to some and that many perceive as a threat. But I also take seriously living in a country that does not restrict, forbid,
time has expired.
Free speech.
I'm going to kill you, you wild, crazy lady. Oh, but I don't mean it that way. I just mean it in a humorous way.
Rashida Tlaib.
That's basically the way, yeah.
And anti-Semitism makes us all less safe and worry that your own child might suffer the horrors that 6-year-old Wadia did in Illinois. I can't believe I have to say this, but Palestinian people are not disposable.
Nobody's saying that.
Nobody says they are. You're saying that Jewish people. Here comes the tears. Right, wait for it. She's got to get those tears going. Here we go. Here, we got the show. We got the show.
Just wait until Ilhan Omar starts screaming.
Get the Oscar ready. Get the Oscar
beings.
ready.
Just like anyone else. My city, my grandmother, like all Palestinians, just wants to live her life with freedom and human dignity we all deserve.
Oh my God!
Speaking up to save lives, Mr. Chair, no matter faith, no matter ethnicity, should not be controversial in this chamber. The cries of the Palestinian and Israeli children sound no different to me. Why?
Yeah, right.
What I don't understand.
Can you pause it for a second? Do you notice that she does this all the time? She'll and by the way, we showed a video before of her, and she'll literally turn it on and off like a faucet. It's amazing. She'll go like, I can't think of the children, and I'm super mad at all you people because of what you're doing. Oh my God, my mother is so sad, and I can't stand you. And she literally just. It's so freaking obvious that this woman is a grifter.
Oh yeah.
It's
I
unbelievable.
can't believe that you censored me because I said death to the Jews.
I just want to kill the Jews. Will somebody just kill them all?
Yeah, see, Rashida Tlaib, she tries to go for the Oscar and like pull at the heartstrings. Whereas
Yeah.
Ilhan Omar is just like, I will actively call for this.
What is true here is that every single one of them has not acknowledged the fact that Palestinians are dying in the tens of thousands, but will continue to say it is us who are not acknowledging humanity.
Yep.
Rashida will stand strong.
Gentlelady's time has expired.
Movement will continue for liberation until every single
Gentlelady's time has
Palestinian
expired.
has the right to
Gentleman
live
from
in
Maryland
liberty.
is recognized.
Until every Jew is dead. I mean, until
Yeah.
every liberal Palestinian is freed to kill Jews.
And then there's Cori Bush. Here we go.
Oh my God, they're so brutal.
lack of care and a lack of understanding and a lack of seeing the humanity of folks who look like Rashida Tlaib. It's outrageous that my colleagues are blatantly attempting to silence the only Palestinian American representative right here. It's outrageous, but it's not surprising. And let me tell you, it's not surprising because this place is where 1,700 members of Congress, this elected body, enslaved black people. It's not surprising because they thought it was right. It's not surprising because this is the place where members continue to claim that the insurrection on the Capitol just appeared to look like a normal tourist visit. It's not surprising because this is the place where our black and brown staff members repeatedly speak of experiencing racism and sexism, Islamophobia, get pushed off in elevators, xenophobia, and more right here in this workplace. This is the place. And let me say this, she mourns for the 1,400 Israelis.
gentlelady's time has expired.
She mourns for the 10,000, and she will not stop.
Yep. No, nobody believes you.
This is like the crazy lady next door who constantly threatens to shoot your dog, and she's comes out with a shotgun, I'm gonna blow your dog away unless you get him to stop coming in my yard. I will blow his head off. You call the cops because this crazy lady's coming out with a gun. Be like, oh my lord, they're calling the cops on me. Oh, I'm such a victim. It's just obviously about racism, and they are not acknowledging the plight of us poor black women. It's that's basically what she is.
Yep. No.
This is one of the only times I was actually wondering how long is it going to take before these lunatics were finally actually put a stop to them. But by the way, we've been covering Ilhan Omar and Rashida Tlaib and Cori Bush and ALC for the last week and a half because they've been saying insane things, and we're like, what does it take? Apparently, if you're a Democrat, you can say whatever you want, and it's all good. It's death to Jews. Oh, no, we don't mean it that way. We just
don't
use
mean
it
that way. It could be interpreted
a
a whole bunch of different ways.
Interpretive, death as in no longer
metaphorical
death
in
Israel, in the ocean, in a very subjective way. It's it's amazing to me. Yeah, it's crazy. Yeah. Veldrin, a lot of people have actually asked people who are advocating for ceasefire and all that. They're like, what do you think would happen if the border was entirely open between Israel and Gaza? They ask them point blank, and they'd be like, well, I don't know. I'm sure it'd be fine. I'm you don't think the terrorists in Gaza would go and slaughter Israelis? Oh, that's just really, really, really ridiculous. They would never do that. This comes down to the same thing that Ben Shapiro, I love him for saying this. He's Western people do not understand the people in the Middle East. They just do not understand. They don't even, they don't think like us. And a lot of these Palestinian, a lot of these terrorists do not think like we do. You think oh, maybe if we give them more money, if we give them a house and we give them a TV and iPhones, then they'll be happy. That'll solve the problem. It's no. They don't give a crap what you do or don't give them. If they have a chance, they will kill Jews. It's that simple. This is a totally different way of thinking than the way that we're thinking. So I'm geez, you gotta fix it up, man. But Steven,
yep.
Actually, I want to see show the which one do you have next? Yeah, the other Daily Mail. This one was interesting because I actually will support and defend Washington Post for publishing this, even though they caved immediately once they like received some criticism. But yeah, tell us about this one because again, we're trying to argue. I was like, nothing to see here. You know, Americans, Democrats, they don't have an anti-Semitism problem. They definitely don't have a pro-terrorist problem.
Mm-hmm.
What happened here in the Washington Post?
Yeah, so Washington Post removes quote-unquote racist cartoon depicting grossly mischaracterized Hamas terrorists with women and children tied to his body after reader backlash.
Yeah,
so,
I actually like this
you know,
picture.
people like those who are kind of in the chat, you let me know if this is like grossly mischaracterized depiction of Hamas. All right. Like you let me know if this is accurate or grossly mischaracterized. So right here. So Hamas, how dare Israel attack civilians, and they have a whole bunch of children and a woman tied to themselves. So is that racist and a mischaracterization?
No, it's very good symbolism. Yep. I think they did a good job.
Yeah.
Because I think you showed a picture on Tuesday, this past Tuesday. I asked you, like, don't we have pictures of like Hamas putting rocket launchers right next to schools? And you showed an actual picture.
I showed the picture, the satellite footage.
Yes, where the IDF showed pretty undeniably that Hamas had set up a rocket launcher right next to a playground.
Yep, right next to a kindergarten.
Yes, and the goal was we want when they strike back at these like rocket launchers, we want to make sure that the strike, even if it just destroys the wall and doesn't actually hurt any kids, they can still say like, you know, oh Israel is attacking like poor innocent children. Like this is the game that they're playing. So I like the idea that this picture is actually like, you know, very descriptive because it's actually describing what is an actual like war crime, which the Hamas is committing war crimes in the Gaza Strip by forcing people, innocent civilians, in to be human shields. That's a war crime, and so this picture perfectly illustrates that. It really does. But unfortunately, for a lot of the lunatics and a lot of the fanatics on the left, they are incredibly pro-terrorist, and so they hate any depiction that would, like, you know, at least try to point out the absurdity of the terrorists, like, you know, like the terrorists, like, you know, like are criticizing Israel for attacking civilians when they themselves are putting civilians in harm's way. This perfectly depicts it, right? But yeah, it's amazing, like, you know, because again, you know, like America doesn't have an anti-Semitism problem. This is why this picture was totally, like, you know, legit, right? I don't know what you're doing, but yeah.
No.
But then it goes on, like, you know, they actually, like, you know, have not only, like, you know, do they have, like, are they trying to like censor pictures of, like, you know, legitimate pictures of satire, but they're actually trying to, like, you know, actually attack anybody who is not 100% supportive and bowing at the feet of Hamas and pro-Palestinian cause.
Yep. So hundreds of anti-Israel protesters descended on Bryant Park and later occupied the lobby of the New York Times building as they called for the elimination of the Jewish state and accused President Biden of backing genocide.
By the way,
that is a very hypocritical sentence. You're backing genocide. What we want to do, eliminate the Jews. It's like, do you not see? No, you don't. Okay, all right. Well, okay. Crowds of demonstrators labeled Israel a terrorist state while chanting "From river to the sea, Palestine will be free." Oh no, we have to change that. We have to use the new phrase. From the river to the sea.
Well,
what was
Palestine?
No, what was it? It was
Palestine will be Jew free.
Yes, Palestine is Jew free.
Palestine is Jew free. Yeah, we fixed it.
Yeah, we fixed it. It's so much better now.
I mean, you know, like you don't have to throw them into the sea. I mean, you can throw them into ovens, and you can throw them into like shooting squads. I mean, you just play around with it. You know, whatever works. Jeez, like these people are literally like ISIS, and people are like, but ISIS is that's a good thing. ISIS is good. It's like, gosh.
Yeah.
this is why I agree. Like this movement has been such a black eye for the leftist movement in America. Because you see some like crazy people. It was, oh my gosh. Yeah, I see. Like Side Network was talking about the history of Israel, like how Israel came to be. Just in a nutshell, because I think, yeah, I mean, you basically covered like a lot of major things. I think you have to remember too that okay, so Palestine before 1948 and like all the way down into like so after World War I, the Ottoman Empire was originally the one that was controlling the Middle East. After World War I, the Ottoman Empire dissolved, and so suddenly the UK, France, and a lot of other countries were kind of like managing these areas. There was no countries there. There was no actual nation. So when you say that it's like, imagine if like somebody came into the USA and created like some kind of a US mini US inside the US. I'm like, that's not an accurate parallel, because there was no nation there at the time. When they made the partitions, and they actually created nations by making those partitions. There were no nations there before. These were territories that were essentially under the under kind of like the overview of like the UK and all these other nations, right? So it's there was no nations there before. So they didn't like have like the nation of Palestine. There was no. This is why people have said, like Ben Shapiro said, there is no such thing as a Palestinian nation. That never existed in history. There was a Palestinian like area in the Roman Empire, but that was a province, not a state. It was not an independent country. That was not like Palestine, the country. And similarly, after the Ottoman Empire, there was also not a Palestinian country. It was only an area that was basically being, like not protected. Essentially was under the control and operation of the UN, essentially. Okay, so when they created Israel, they didn't create Israel at the expense of countries. These were just contested lands, and they were trying to find a solution to be like, okay, well, how about you guys get this, you guys get this. It's like having kids that are fighting over the same toy. And be like, okay, here's what we're gonna do. You're gonna get it in the afternoon. You're gonna get it in the morning, and then like we'll solve it that way. Like, and then one kid's like, no, I want it all the time. I hate you. I hate you. It's like, okay, well, we tried. That's basically what. No, it's a region. Yeah, like it's not a Palestine. It's a very like nebulous term, because like again, the Palestine, the first occurrence of Palestine historically was after the Jews, after like Judea, which was the Roman province of Judea, like which was where like the Holy Land was. After the rebellion of Bar Kokhba, the Romans came in and just said like, we're done. We're destroying everything. We're casting out all the Jews. That's what created the diaspora. But even then, from the time of that all the way up to the creation of the nation of Israel, there was always Jews living in that land. It was not like, it was not given to like people always argue like, oh, these are European Jews. I'm like, sure. They also joined the already existing Jews that had never left, that were always part of that land. So like, yeah, it's not like they gave it to like foreigners. Like there was originally people there who were always part of the land and who never actually left. So yeah, like it's not. It's a little. People try to oversimplify it. It's a little more complex than people try to put it in the whole thing. Steven, any thoughts?
Nope. No, we do have to keep going. So
all right, buddy,
quickly go over this last story.
Yeah, just kind of mention it.
Yep. So Jewish billionaire Henry Sweka quits Columbia board over abhorrent threats to Jews on campus. This is unfortunately nothing new. My deep regret, the reputation and integrity of Columbia University, by extension Columbia Business School, has been significantly compromised by a moral cowardice that appears beyond repair. It is abhorrent, he wrote in a scathing letter, any other minority group on campus would never have to face anything close to this level of intimidation and hatred for Jewish and pro-Israel students experience. To sin by silence when they should protest makes cowards of men. So, unfortunately, like, this is not just happening in the United States or just in, like, kind of the Democrat regions of the U.S. It's happening here in Canada, here in Alberta. Like, Jews are being attacked everywhere. I sent a message, actually, I think it was on Tuesday night, to reach out to the Jewish group here in the on the UFC. They haven't responded, but they have my support.
You know what I find the funniest about all these protests? Like, these pro-Palestine. Pro-Palestine is a very thin veneer of pro-Hamas. So anyways, do you know what I find funny is all these Jewish, like, token Jews that they find. I'm like, it's like, like they always like say like there's a token black guy and a token fat guy in movies and all that kind of stuff. Like, this is very condescending that they like find somebody who's like at least willing to either pretend or dress like a Jew, and they're like, "Hi, I support the full genocide of my people. Please kill them harder, please." It's like it's so. That's the one thing that I find crazy. I understand why leftists support these pro-Palestine, like, fanatics, because they're all like, anti-West. But I'm like, who are these people that they're finding to play the token Jews? I just, it would be like, finding people in Germany who are like Jews and be like, yes, please, we want more ovens, more concentration camps, please kill us harder, please, more death. We definitely want more death. We are pro-Nazi. Please, Nazis, great. It's like, I don't know. I find it crazy that who these people are that are basically throwing their people under the bus. It's unbelievable to me.
Yep. All right. So let's move on to the weekly exposure, which is pretty horrifying, actually. So I read about this story this morning. Was watching some news about it. So Israel demands action after journalists reportedly joined Hamas massacre. So the Associated.
When did this happen, by the way? When was this? Like that they joined the Hamas massacre? Was that during the
January? During the October 7th attack? Yes.
Wow, I did not know that.
Yeah, no, they were. There was videos of journalists holding grenades for Hamas, so that Hamas like handing them grenades, so that Hamas could throw them. And I'm like, this goes way beyond, like, oh, we want to get a scoop, we want to get a story. So AP responded they had no advanced knowledge of the October 7th attacks, and spokesperson Nicole Meyer. Media watchdog Honest Reporting published an investigative report late on Wednesday showing journalists from leading news outlets, including the New York Times, Associated Press, Reuters, and CNN, joined Hamas terrorists from the Gaza Strip to document the horrific events with their cameras. The organization, which works to expose anti-Israel bias in the foreign press, raised weighty ethical questions in the investigation regarding the presence of these photographers alongside Hamas terrorists.
Jeez, man.
So here, like, this is... let's start with Hassan Eslaya. So an AP freelancer also works for CNN, infiltrated into Israel alongside the terrorists, took photos of a burning Israeli tank, and captured infiltrators entering Kibbutz Kfar Aza. His name appears on Associated Press credits from October 7th. Jeez. So this is an image of him
with a helmet.
Yeah,
and a cameraman. Is that the cameraman, I guess?
I think this is a different journalist. These are both journalists.
Yeah, both journalists.
Both journalists.
As the person's being kidnapped.
Yeah, as the person's being
kidnapped, and they're taking pictures and videos. Unbelievable.
Yeah.
Man.
All right. Continuing on. Other ones. So CNN freelance journalists broadcasted images of Hamas infiltration. So the hours following our expose, new material is still coming to light concerning Gazan freelance journalist Hassan Eslaya. Footage of Eslaya after he crossed into Israel and took photos of a burning Israeli tank. He then captured infiltrators entering Kibbutz Kfar Aza. I might have said that wrong.
Jeez, man.
Yeah. But there was one. I'll see if I can find it on Twitter. Of journalist grenade Hamas. Yeah. Okay. So here.
دخلنا عشرات الكيلوات مواطنين مع مسلحين مع مقاومين كما نشاهد.
Yeah, this is the journalist holding a grenade.
Unreal.
As they're riding the motorbike into Israel. Like this goes. Yes, like I understand the desire. As like for journalists, you want to have that scoop. I get it. You want to be the one with the news.
But like, imagine being complicit and helping in actually that it would be like, imagine the Rwandan genocide. That was genocide. And like journalists are going around with them and be like, I'm trying to break down the story. Can you hold my machete for me? It's like, oh yeah, I can do that. Like, thank you. Boom, boom, poof. Okay, I'll take the machete back. Here you go. And you document the slaughter of like, a dozen people in the house that they just went into like, to murder. Like that's basically what's going on here with these like report. Like imagine like doing an undercover expose in the world of child trafficking, and you're literally like documenting the actual like abuse of children.
Or
you're like I'm just a reporter.
It's more than that actually, because like if you're the one holding the grenade, then what you're doing is more akin to being like, okay, well I'll tie their hands. I'll tie that child's hands so they can be trafficked.
Mm-hmm.
Like
I know I'm holding the video camera of the actual sexual assault taking place, so you can put it on Pornhub later.
Mm-hmm. No, and like what you have to assume is that they just didn't happen across this. They were embedded with Hamas for weeks, if not months, and so they had to have known this was coming.
Yep.
Like they had to have been kind of given that announcement.
Yeah.
And it's like, okay, well, if you knew this was coming, the Associated Press says, oh yeah, they didn't know the attack was forthcoming.
Well, they say it right here. Like Reuters this is a quote from Reuters.
Yeah.
Reuters categorically denies that it had prior knowledge of the attack or that we embedded journalists with Hamas on October 7th. How can you say that when you're driving on the motorcycle of a Hamas terrorist? Like you're not just gonna show up in Israel and be like, oh, what's going on? Oh, look, they're slaughtering people. Let's go ask those dangerous, terrorists if we can, go on a ride with them. You think that terrorists, not knowing who you are gonna be like, yeah, oh yeah, come on. You get in the back of the motorcycle, hold my grenade. Like, oh yeah, no worries. You think that they're gonna do that? Like you have to be really dense to believe that they're just gonna be like, oh yeah, come on in. We're just slaughtering Jews. Come on.
Oh yeah.
Along.
Well, and like, at what point, as a journalist, do you have to say, okay, no, like, I know that I might suffer. Like, if we were journalists and we were embedded inside this sort of outfit and we knew this was happening, yes, if you tell people that this attack is coming, you will likely be executed.
Yeah, absolutely.
But you have to weigh the cost. If you say nothing, then potentially you have, because nobody said anything, 1,400 Jews died. If you say something, costs might be reduced by 100, 500, 1,000, because you have time and preparation. Be like, okay, there's a massive attack coming. You have to be ready for it.
Or, I don't know, maybe don't go with the mass murdering.
Don't go alongside of them just to get footage, just to get a scoop.
Dear Lord, you see, the morality of this is so incredibly over the top, evil.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Like even if we're covering a protest here, like if our side was involved and was actively beating the other side, and we're like, oh, well, we're gonna get the scoop. It's like, no. It's like you cannot care more about getting the exclusive than you can about people being attacked and killed. Because journalistic ethics has to mean something.
I mean, like if you know that there's somebody, if somebody next door is going in and like if there's like a child prostitution ring next door, And you can see them dragging the kids into the houses, screaming, and then you hear the sounds of the kids screaming as they're being raped and all that kind of stuff. But you say nothing. You're liable because you basically were complicit in allowing it to happen. You have a responsibility to report it. If you, as a private citizen, knowing that something like evil like that was going on next door, if you're liable, like, you think that these reporters shouldn't be liable? Like, we're living in an upside down world where morality is whatever the heck we feel like it is, and this is something that is just purely like, dear Lord, like there's evil and then there's complicity, where you're actively like helping the evil to happen, and you're like well, I didn't cause the evil. I'm just the person along for the ride, holding the grenades. It's all good. My goodness, eh? So we should probably finish on a good note, eh, Steve?
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Something
weekly highlight.
not quite as crazy. All right, so this is the highlight of this week is somebody named Chantel De Jong. I met Chantel when Stephen and I used to go to Fairview Baptist, the very Reformed church. I met Chantel. I found out that she was running for MLA of Chestermere. And I was like, that's awesome. Like she's a very very, very sociable person and all that kind of stuff. Now she's kind of a rising star in Alberta politics. And I'm like, I couldn't be happier for her. She is a very solid, conservative Christian politician. And I'm actually happy that she's getting recognized.
Yeah.
And this video was something that basically it's like people are recognizing that she is a very up and coming political star. And I wish her all the best. So here's the video that Kian Bexley shared.
To sustain the Alberta we love and to expand on the strength and freedom that nourish the Alberta spirit. We are strong when we are free, and we are free when we are strong. To sustain our strength and freedom and to ensure that these principles remain a beacon for generations to come, Alberta must face two sets of related challenges, simultaneously internal and external. First is the woke culture of progressives, which includes radical environmentalism and an obsession with identity politics. Woke progressive culture is a creature that feeds on division sown by invented grievances. It is a creature that reduces and diminishes people to narrow identities. It is a creature that opposes freedom of expression in the public square and in our schools and universities. It is a creature that scorns science, faith, and hope. Woke progressive culture is a creature hostile to the core traditions of Albertans and who we are. It divides friends and families. It pits parents against children, citizens against neighbors, and workers against businesses. It is a creature that afflicts many, chief among them our friends across the aisle, Mr. Speaker. And in this execution of that progressive plan, we are seeing an attack on Albertans, on our provincial identity, our energy sector, our farms and ranches, our institutions, and our families. We are seeing an assault on parental rights and authority, tacitly endorsed by Ottawa with New Democrat complicity. And this is wrong. As the main founder of our province, the famously pragmatic Frederick Haltain often repeated, there is no compromise with wrong. The family is the fundamental building block of society and how citizens naturally pass on the torch of culture. Healthy and strong families beget strong communities and healthy societies. Without strong families, individuals quickly become vassals of the state. There's no culture without families, and our coalition was built on this principle and on the promise that families are protected from state intrusions.
Yeah.
Amen, man. That's like one of the better speeches I've heard from like an Alberta representative. Like
can she be my president?
I know, right? It was good.
Yeah, no, like so Sci Network. So we are Canadian. We're from Alberta, and Alberta is kind of lightly described as the Texas of Canada,
or the Florida of Canada,
or the Florida of Canada. So we are by far the most conservative province.
Yeah,
and the UCP, and especially with their kind of since they won the last election, they're kind of digging in, going more conservative. Alberta is flat. Well, we're not flat,
except for the Rocky Mountains.
Yeah, no, we have the mountains.
Yes, we have a lot of Rocky Mountains.
Like
here.
Alberta has some of the most beautiful places on Earth.
Yes, Saskatchewan is flat. I'll
is
give you
flat.
that. Not Alberta, like not all of Alberta.
Yeah. No, here.
Yeah.
Like for those who don't know,
that's a concession right there.
Yeah.
Concession. Yeah, most of Alberta is flat, you're right. Like if you actually quantify the province, but we do have some of the most incredible mountains. I've actually talked to people from Texas that have visited Alberta, and they've said like they just love coming to the mountains because they're like Texas has nothing like this.
Yeah, no.
They have nothing.
This
like,
is what
mountain.
you find in Alberta.
That's flat. Man, Steven, that is super flat.
Super
there.
flat. Super flat.
Massively flat.
Yeah, no. So yeah, Alberta, like the Rocky Mountains are really, really cool.
Yeah.
And
by the way, that lake that you're looking at right there, like I've been there. It's actually not that far from here.
Oh no, well yeah, it's Moraine Lake. It's near Lake Louise.
Yep.
So
we have
Moraine Lake, Lake Louise.
Like
yeah, like the Rocky Mountains, Banff, Jasper has a lot of really beautiful spots.
They do.
Like even where we went camping this summer, like that was a pretty decent spot.
And it wasn't even that far. It was like 40 minutes.
Yeah, it wasn't that far at all. So yeah, we definitely have benefits and blessings of where we live. Because I would definitely choose to live in Alberta instead of choosing to live in Ontario or Quebec. Heaven. Well, it's pretty nice.
That's right. That's right. It's a pretty good place here. I like it. Like I like BC better because they have more of a variety.
Yeah, like the coast is pretty cool.
Yep.
But then you have the coastal elites, and those people suck.
No, it's China does. China does, Stephen.
Yes. Oh yeah,
That's what Vancouver is now. Like the Lawrence Southern, basically, like made it clear.
Yeah.
It's now China though over there. But the parts that are still Canadian are pretty nice. But yeah, so Chantal Dijon, I wish her all the best. She's awesome. Like solid conservative Christian candidate, and she's she's making a lot of headwinds in Alberta, and I wish her well. I hope that she does well. I think she's a great Christian representative for Albertans.
Yep.
Yeah, I would love if she was my candidate, but she's in Chestermere, so.
Yes. So, anyways, that's where we're going to end today's show. Thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. Thank you for everybody who's joining in the live stream.
Yeah.
And we're going to try and kind of keep things, like, as I've stated before, I have work fairly early in the morning.
The poor boy, he's got to work early.
Yeah, well, really early.
That's not sarcastic. That's legitimate. Like, yeah, you do have to work early.
So, that's just the way it is. And... yeah, so we'll see you on Tuesday for a regularly scheduled Tuesday Newsday. On Thursday, we will be heading down to the event with Ben Shapiro.
Ben Shapiro.
So we haven't exactly figured out 100% what we're going to be trying to do. I have a feeling we're going to be...
still got to work on our, safety vests, helmets, and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, things could get interesting.
We shall be attacked.
Yeah, we might. So, and yeah, this time I don't have to kind of be like in the background because my kids are not going to be there. So I don't have anybody to like fall back to protect.
That's a good papa.
So, yeah. But we will maybe try and aim that we might have 2 live streams going at once. We might have Danny live streaming to like either Facebook or something else, and then I will hopefully be live streaming the kind of protest from the Ben Shapiro event to Twitch.
Yep.
And then I'll try and keep track of the chat, but things might get hectic, so we'll see what happens. We might not be able to kind of manage the chat as things happen.
I don't think that managing a chat while you're doing a live stream is
even
some of the most prominent live streamers, even they gave up because they're like, nah, it's not going to happen. It's not a thing. Okay, commanders, we charged through the beach. He said he walked through a beautiful beach house with jacuzzi and pool and a view to the sea. He said at the moment he understood the people living there had everything. They simply hate Jews. I wouldn't be surprised if that's like, how do I put it? there's a lot of people who are high up in Hamas and like who have a lot of money. Like they're not doing poorly. However, I think like the situation in the Gaza Strip is probably not great. I think there's probably a very big division between rich and poor. Just because of Hamas is basically diverting all funds to basically the war effort. So it's a great example of a country that is not at all concerned with its citizens, but is more concerned with war at all costs, or like the Spartans, if you kind of put it that way.
Yep.
It's all up for the war effort.
All out. All right. So if you're following us on our video platforms, we are on YouTube, BitChute, and Rumble. And of course, you can like and subscribe. We'd like you to subscribe under Rumble so we can live stream there and of shift away from YouTube because YouTube is filled with censorious bastards.
Yes, they are.
But you can also follow us on our text platforms such as Twitter, Gitter, and Facebook. You can also check us out at theshrewsdudes.com. And you can email us there with any questions, concerns, or commentary that you may have. You can join us at the end of the month for our open mic, and where we will be having a discussion about anything and everything, and of course anything that happens up to that date. So we will see you on Tuesday. And Danny, sign us out.
See you later, people. Thanks for watching.
Sorry.
I'm kidding.
When is the next Twitch stream will be Tuesday night around 8 p.m.
Yeah.
And then
after that it'll be the following
the next I will try and be streaming the Ben Shapiro event on Twitch.
On
so
YouTube.
I'll connect. I'll try and stream it on Twitch via my phone. If it doesn't work streaming it to my phone from to Twitch, then it will be streamed on likely either Facebook or Twitter. So Danny will probably be live streaming to Facebook. I will be either live streaming to Twitch or Twitter.
That's right.
So,
by the way, side network, I'm just not sure if I can love Ben. I just, Ben is. I just don't know enough about Ben to love him. I think we need to get to know each other, maybe a couple more dates and all that, and then we can kind of maybe talk about love. But until then, I think I just
heavy
like
appreciation.
That's all I can do. I'll get offered. That's my final offer. That's best I can do. Like the Pawn Stars kind of guys. Like best I can do. I can like Ben.
Best I can do.
Yeah. All right, we're the Shrew Dudes. We're always trying to encourage you to have better conversations, to be more informed and better prepared for whatever you see out there in this work world. And our motto, as always, is why be rude when you can be shrewd. We'll see you on Tuesday for Tuesday Newsday. Have a great weekend. And as always, God bless.
All right. See you Tuesday.